This week, in Kibler, Arkansas, 3 missing people send police into a frantic search, but when one of the detectives also disappears, it turns into the hunt for what they think may be a deranged serial killer while desperately trying to find all 4 victims alive. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another absolutely bonkers. If you heard the opening, there's a lot going on in this episode, as you might imagine. Episode of Small Town Murder. It's going to be a wild one. Buckle up. Before we get to that, though, absolutely head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. There you go. Right. Well, it's there. Merchandise? Sure, there's merchandise. We got all that stuff. Tickets to live shows are the things you really want to get here. Next up, Milwaukee, September the 18th at the Pabst. There are not a lot of tickets left for that one. So if you'd like to go to that show, I suggest do it right now. Get them in there. And then after that, the next day, September 19th in Minneapolis at the State Theater. Get your tickets for that. Do it right now. There's more tickets than there should be available for that one. So it's very odd, Bill. Milwaukee's going to beat you guys. Don't do that. Yeah. What do you want?
Minnesota always sells out, so it's going to be
They do. Let's hope they come through here. Then we have Dallas, San Jose, Sacramento, Terrytown, and Boston in October and November. So do that and get your tickets right now. Shutupandgivememurder.com is where you do that. Definitely listen to our other 2 shows, Crime in Sports, where we have a very cool series about the Yahweh Ben Yahweh cult going on right now because one of the main enforcers happened to play football for like a month and a half in the NFL. So, it counts. So we do that. And then Your Stupid Opinions is just insane.
So fun.
It's so fun. So check those shows out. Get yourself Patreon. That's the important part. Patreon.com/CrimeInSports is where you get all the bonus material. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get everything we put out, including as soon as you subscribe, you get about almost 400 back bonus episodes you've never heard before. Huge feed to binge on. And then you get new ones every other week, too. 1 Crime in Sports, 1 Small Town Murder. And you get it all, everybody.
You get everything.
And this week, it's a banner week, actually, because it is prisoner dating game time again, everybody. Much requested, and we do it about twice a year. The prisoner dating game is back, where what we do here, it's the all-violent felon, as always. Where I line up 4 ladies and 4 young gentlemen for Jimmy to choose from here, and he's going to pick one based on just what they say about themselves. And then afterwards, we get to find out what they did and how horrible of a choice Jimmy has made. And the whole game is basically try to avoid the pedophile. It's like whack-a-mole. That's what he's trying to do. It's very fun. Patreon.com/CrimeInSports is where you get all that. And you get all the shows we put out. Crime in Sports, Your Stupid Opinion, Small Town Murder, all ad-free.
Ad-free?
All ad-free. Just take it. Wow. We want you to have it. And on top of that, you also get a shout-out at the end of the show, too. It's literally all we could give without opening a vein. So
that's all we've got.
That's all we got. Disclaimer time. It's a comedy show, everybody.
Right.
We're comedians, so we're going to make jokes, and the show's called Small Town Murder, so there's people are going to die. That's the way it works here. Now you go, well, how the hell do those things go together? Real easily, actually. Yeah. It's amazing if you do certain things. And the main thing we do is we never make fun of the victim.
No.
Or the victims' families.
Why?
Because we're assholes.
But
we're not scumbags. See how that works? It's real simple. And if you stick with that, it's pretty easy. Plus, there's plenty to make fun of. There's some murderer to make fun of. Who's more easy to make fun of? Or make fun of some small-town police force that didn't do their jobs and let a murderer go free. Make fun of small towns, because why not? Yeah. We're all from somewhere that deserves to be made fun of. So there you go. That said, you think that true crime and comedy should never, ever go together, though. Maybe it's not for you. I don't know. Yeah. But it might be. Let's put it that way. I'd give it a shot. But either way, don't really want to hear you complain later. So enjoy. Buckle up, strap in, and sit back also and clear the lungs here. And put your arms to the sky. And let's all shout. Shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, everybody.
Okay.
Let's go on a trip, shall we?
Yeah.
Got to do it. We're going to Arkansas. Yeah, that always raises Any crowd you say that to, obviously
Yeah.
a huge cheer will come up. Yay, finally.
Very underwhelming destination.
Yeah. If you have kids, gather them up, sit them down and go, we're going on a family vacation. They'll go, yay. Where are we? Disney? Where are we going here? And then go, we're going to Arkansas. And then watch their faces
Fayetteville.
change. And they'll go, number one, half of them won't know it's a state, so they won't even know what you're talking about.
They've forgotten.
They've forgotten. And the other ones who do know, they'll be even more frightened. So this is Kibler, Arkansas. Kibler. Kibler.
That's Kibler? That's Kibler.
It's Kibler. It says it. I looked it up. Trust me, because I was going to pronounce it Kibler, and then I looked it up, and it
1B.
says rhymes with rib, like Ribbler. And I was like,
All right.
perfect. It's Kibler. Far western Arkansas. This is 2 hours and 15 minutes to Little Rock, if you want to go that way. 2 hours and 50 minutes to Oklahoma City, the other way. So it's kind of almost right in between them. And about 2 hours and 15 minutes to Austin, Arkansas, which was our last Arkansas episode 664, The Deadly Grandma and the Doppelganger. That was a wild one, by the way. Yeah. This is in Crawford County, area code 479. Now, a little bit of history on Kibler. Kibler's a small town.
Yeah.
It's like the bigger towns nearby are places like Van Buren and like not big, and Fort Smith is the big city nearby, which has like 80,000 people, but that's the big city. Wow. So it's a real small area out in Kibler. It's about halfway between the I-40 and the Arkansas River. So right between the freeway and the Arkansas River. It's interesting.
That thing's muddy.
It's a
gross river.
Brown, absolutely. Yeah. Originally known as Prairie Grove in the beginning. Apparently, it's very hilly in this region and didn't attract a lot of settlers until the 1800s. And a guy named John Kibler is said to have arrived from Germany in the 1840s. And there's also Mary Kibler and all this type of thing. Now,
hilly, not mountainy.
Yeah, hilly. Yeah, just hills. Yeah, there's no mountains over there. It's just, this is the hills.
Prairie plains.
Arkansas's got some hills, and then they go away completely before you get to Oklahoma. Yeah. I think that's where they drew the border.
Where do the hills stop?
Yeah, if there's anything over about 7 inches of elevation, that's still Arkansas. We can't have that. So their wells for natural gas were dug in 1914 on the Binks Kibler farm. So they're farming gas at that point. And then more wells the next year on a different farm. And then a sawmill was built to harvest trees in order to clear land for gas wells and for cotton farms. Yeah, more wells and farms. So this was probably a pretty nice scenic area at one point. And then they, destroyed it all. Reviews of this town could only find one. And I was honestly surprised there was any. It was one of those small towns. It's a 4-star review. And it says, I would definitely choose to live here again because it is a safe environment. The atmosphere is always great. I see this town expanding in the future.
This guy writing this on his deathbed?
She'll live here again. I don't know, but what is he talking? It's going to expand?
I don't know.
I think the big next boom, I mean, we had booms. I mean, Austin was pretty booming for a while, Austin, Texas, and, people were going places. Nashville, very booming. Vegas. I think the next one's Kibler, Arkansas. Is that it? Well, I was going to go to Nashville, but man, those burbs are getting expensive. Kibler's my next choice, though. What the fuck? People in this town, 1,324. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a metropolis in no time. It's going to be huge.
What does that person see? I mean, I understand what they haven't seen, but what have they seen that made them think that this is a booming place?
Seems like they're sitting in whatever place they've moved to because this place was terrible and they couldn't get a job. Yeah, so they moved somewhere else and they're just having some reminiscent flashbacks of like, boy, that place was great. I bet a lot of other people will go there since I want to go back.
Yeah.
That must mean everyone agrees with me. More women than men in this town, barely 50.2% women. So a few more. Median age here is a couple years below the national average, about 35.2. Yeah. Now, it's the family, normally 50-50 is average for married. Here it is 69% married.
Good God.
These people are married. I don't know if the courthouse isn't close enough to get a divorce or what the deal is, but they are sticking around.
30% single. I mean, 30% of this country is unmarriable. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. 30.
So all the marriable people are married.
30.
At least.
I was
you know
going to
what I mean?
say, we're talking I mean, even some of the people that are married, I would say 80 to 85% of the country is unmarriable.
Yeah.
Right? For one reason or another.
Whether they're hideous or just in a lifestyle that you just,
a fucking pill addict. I mean, you could name a bunch of different things. That's
All
about
the
85% of this country if you put all those things under an umbrella.
It's a miracle that it's as high a married population as it is.
Yeah, well, maybe they're just too lazy to get divorced, though. You don't know. That's probably it, too.
People settling.
That's it.
It's possible, too.
Race in this town, 91.3% white, 0.0% black. In Arkansas, not a black person in town. That seems, that's weird. 1.4% Asian, 1.2% Native American, which is above the national average, actually, and 1.1% Hispanic. So white.
Fascinating.
Religion here, 50-50 is normal. This is 51.3% of the people here are religious, which is kind of lower than you would think for this kind of area. But as you would think, though, the number one religion here is Baptist, of course. Sure. As we know, Baptists are the Catholics of the South everywhere. 0.0% Jewish or Muslim or anything like that. Unemployment is low here, actually, under the national average. Median household income also below the national average.
Sure. Yeah.
It's $69,000 in the rest of the country. Here, $56,563. So a little bit low, but the cost of living is also lower. In the rest of the country, let's say it's 100 as average. Here it is 76 for cost of living, and the housing is the low thing.
That's how they all have fishing boats.
That's the only way. Median home cost here, $151,600.
Dang.
So, I mean, that's
you
cheap.
You can do it.
That is very, very cheap. So, I don't know. Maybe we've convinced you to make Kibler the next boom town. I'm not sure. I'm surprised that's not the motto. But if we have convinced you, we have for you the Kibler, Arkansas Real Estate Report. Average two-bedroom rental here goes for $830, well below the national average.
Yeah.
Well below. So I found some shit here. Here is a 5 acres of land.
Yeah.
Totally undeveloped. Just woods.
Just barren.
Just woods. $75,000. Which
How
seems
many acres?
5. That seems steep.
That is expensive.
Right? For not developed at all? Like no...
Not even a little
sewer hookup,
cabin
nothing.
or anything?
No, nothing. This is just a patch of woods, basically. That's it. Here is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 960 square foot, really old, shitty metal trailer. It's terrible looking. But if you buy this, you'll get the entire trailer park, 10 acres of trailer park.
You're the boss.
You are the trailer master here. The park was built in 1965. The listing says unlimited possibilities. You can have crackheads and child molesters and...
There's a few limits.
I would say there's plenty of limits here. The property was formerly an active mobile home park and presents an exceptional development potential with ample space for up to 6 homes. You can create a small subdivision or just live in it in your trailer. $166,500 for that.
Wow, 10 acres?
Yeah, and that's a $12,000 price cut. So it seems like 5 acres is about $75,000 in that ballpark here. And then here's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,171 square foot house. It's a little brick house, pretty nice, decent on the inside, small lot, $169,900.
That's your castle.
Now this is the castle here. 5-bedroom, 4-bath, 7,318 square feet, which the house doesn't look it. The house looks like a rural information center. That'd be the best way to put it. Like there should be pamphlets in one of those things outside. That's what it looks like.
It's got a basement or what?
It has to, but it's 20.67 acres, and there's like a huge pond and like with a dock and like all kinds of shit like that. It's a lot of land. $949,000.
Go fuck.
Don't
Not
think
a
so.
chance.
Just
No
had
way.
a price cut of $20,000. I don't know what they were thinking there.
I would never pay $1 million to live in Arkansas.
No. Fuck
Not
no.
a chance.
Fuck no. No. That's why that house is sitting there. Someone built that and then went, I have enough money to not live in Arkansas, and then they left.
Well, they used to. They spent it all on that house.
Things to do here. Old fort days. This is at Fort Smith, which is nearby. It's like 5 miles away. Now, I'll give you a schedule. It runs for a few days, but I'll give you a basic everyday schedule is pretty much the same. There's a rodeo parade, and then there's a mutton busting event of some kind. Yeah. There's qualifying, and then they go through the rounds.
A whole thing for the kids.
Oh yeah. There is live music at the Old Fort Days stage, which we'll talk about what that music is in just a moment. And of course, all sorts of fireworks and shit like that, and I'm sure street dances or some horse shit like we always read about in these places. Musical acts that will be playing. Leah Butler. Who's just a chick who's leaning against a huge keyboard that's standing up. She's like leaning on it. So she plays a giant Casio. Okay. The Lane Louder Band, which
quieter.
It's LOW, so it's like Loader. I guess it might be Loader. He looks like a 15-year-old boy dressed up like a cowboy.
Oh, that's a dude.
It's hilarious. Wow. Lane Loader, yeah. Mm-hmm. You look at this guy and you go, dude, stop making that face. He's like making a face like, I'm a tough cowboy singer. It's like, dude, you are 12. Boy. You're 12. Like, you're late for math class. Seriously. Get
Change
back
your
there.
last name. That's very confusing.
It's also confusing. Kennedy Holland, who's just some chick wearing a tiara for some reason. I don't know where she got that from. Bourbon Rain. I'm going to give you a guess what those people look like. Bourbon Rain.
That is a bunch of fellas in very, very weird hats.
That is 4 old men is what that is. Yep. I wish it would rain bourbon, one of them said one night, and they were like, me too, man. If there was a bourbon
Arkansas,
rain.
The rain is poison, and it kind of tastes like bourbon.
I'd like it. I wish it got you drunk, too, instead of just sick.
Instead of just burning your mouth.
Oh, man. Todd Mitge.
Yeah.
There has never been a worse stage name than Mitge, and my name is Petrogallo. So
M-I-T?
M-I-T-T-G-E. Mitge.
That's a horrible name.
It's a terrible name, and he looks like a complete dork. He looks like whatever company you work at, picture the IT guy, now put a cowboy hat on him. That's this fucking guy. Dork. Then there's Uncle Fudge.
Yeah.
Uncle Fudge, which sounds disgusting. That sounds like he's molests your kids.
Yeah, that's the worst uncle.
That's Uncle Fudge. Watch out. Then, though, the problem is when you look at them, it's exactly what you'd think it was. It's 4 guys, and they look like 4 different families kicked out the worst uncle, and they all formed a band. That's what it looks like. It looks like the uncle that no one wants at their house, all 4 of them together.
Uncle Fudge is 4 guys?
4 guys who look like the worst uncle ever. That's what's great about it.
Gross.
Wow. Sarah Murrah, M-U-R-R-A-H. Murrah. I guess that sounds like a Southern person saying Murray.
Isn't that the name of the building that they exploded in Oklahoma City?
Is it the M-U-R-R-A-H?
I think it was.
I'm not sure how it was spelled. The Libby Starks Band. You know what they are? Libby Starks.
Very small blonde girls.
Is a blonde chick in a cowboy hat, and then a bunch of dudes behind her. And it says under them, real country, real music, real fun. Okay.
There's not a lot of diversity in the music so far.
Not really. No. You know what you're getting here.
Yeah.
Then there is Cowboy Hour with Heath Wright and Chris Hempfling.
We got 2 of them.
We should be at Hempfling and Mitke together to form the worst named band of all. Mitke and Hempfling, I think, is. How many albums are they selling?
God, you got to take a beat before you pronounce that band.
Yeah, you do.
It's like you get all the syllables and consonants in there.
It's too much. It's too hard. It hits hard everywhere.
It's a lot of consonants.
Chase Prince and the Redemption, and then Stormy Sullivan, some chick, and then the Dustin Boyd Band.
Yeah, Dustin Boyd. He's got to put his name on it.
All these people have cowboy hats. It's just too much.
They all sing the same shit.
Same
What's
song.
the point? Just
Same
have
song.
one of them.
He's going to sing his song about beer in a parking lot now. Okay, that's good. He added a pickup truck to it. This is he's really.
They all got to have a meeting beforehand
Yeah.
So that they don't all cover the same Toby Keith song.
It's like comics beforehand. If you're on a lineup with people and like there was another comic whose son was autistic, and so we would literally get together and go, which jokes are you doing? And are you going to do your, I'll do, well, okay, you do that section. That's nothing like my shit over there. So we can both do that.
Tell you what, you talk about your kid's school, I'll do everything else.
Yeah, I'll do the home stuff and, I'll do that. So crime rate in this town, what we are interested in, property crime just under the national average, which a town of 1,000 people, it seems like it should be farther below it than that. Then violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and of course assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is about 20% under the average. So
okay, well, that's what happens when you cover my Toby Keith song.
So that said, let's talk about some murder. What do you say here? Let's do it. Okay, let's start out hot. January 6th, 1981 in Arkansas. Yikes.
Summer of 81.
January 6th.
Oh, January, not June. Yeah.
No, January 6th, the winter of 81.
I got to see a doctor.
You got to see a doctor. We'll go back to that again. No wonder why you couldn't follow Widow's Bay.
You just said the month.
What goddamn,
I was like, summer.
What goddamn day did he say that was that they're doing here? Who'd they find in the basement? What's going on?
I heard a J and an N. Yeah, that's June.
Yeah, that works. 1:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Joanna Price, young lady, 21 years old, she calls up a company called Baldor Electric Company, where her husband, Larry, works as a machinist.
Oh.
He's 22. A young couple just got married. Now, they say that Larry said that Larry had called in and said that he wasn't going to be at work that day. She's like, what are you talking about? He's going to be at work that day. That's crazy. Now, the reason why she's calling at 1:30 is because they were supposed to meet at lunch at noon, and he never showed up. So she's like, what the fuck is going on here? So it's 1:30, so she calls his work like, hey, dickhead, I waited for you.
Yeah.
Because this is pre-cell phones and everything like that. 2 hours go by. She doesn't hear from him.
Huh.
And back then, you could call a couple of people, and that was pretty much it. You pretty much just had to wait after that, And so 3:30 p.m., she calls Baldor again and is told that the man who called in to tell them that Larry would not be there wasn't Larry. Some other guy called.
Oh, somebody called in for Larry.
Someone called in for Larry. She gets to the bottom of it. You talk to Larry, and they're like, no. Some guy called for him. And they're like, who? What are you talking about? Who calls in for you at work?
Was a different time. Can you imagine somebody calling in for you?
Unless you're like, in the emergency room, and
your spouse calls in for you or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your spouse or like your mother or somebody calls in, but not
just a random dude.
Hey, Chuck, call me in to work, will you? You do that for me, please? Like, imagine asking your buddy.
Hi, my name is Chuck. I'm calling in for Larry.
Larry ain't going to be there today. Yeah. Why? Well, I guess there's only limited questions they could ask. Well, why isn't he coming in? I don't know. He didn't tell me. He just said to tell y'all he wasn't coming. Oh, okay. So there's one way. So then 5 p.m. comes up. And now Joanna's starting to get upset here.
Still no Larry.
Still no Larry. So her and a neighbor, who is a friend of theirs also, actually go down to the Fort Smith police station to file a missing persons report about him.
Oh.
Because as far as she knew, he was going to work that day.
Yeah.
She saw him in the morning. They had lunch plans, and now he's just disappeared into thin air. So
he didn't show up to work. He didn't show up to lunch. Now he's not home for dinner.
No, well, it's 5. So yeah, she was going down after 3:30 when she heard that. I think she sat around, machinated on it for a minute, and then was like, we should probably report him missing, right?
Yeah.
So they go on down to the police station, and they meet with detectives James Davis and Ray Tate. Tate says, I'll bite. Let's see what's going on. And he says, lead me over to the apartment that you guys live at.
Yeah.
I'm going to look around, and then I'll start from there, basically. So 6:04 p.m., Detective Tate, he radios the police station at 6:04 p.m. He gets in his car and follows Gentry and Joanna. Gentry is her friend. Joanna Price and Gentry to the apartment complex.
Gentry's the last name?
Gentry's, the last name.
Okay.
We'll talk about the first name and middle name because they're interesting. So Gentry and Joanna lead him there. Tate radios the police dispatcher at 6:04 p.m. and says he has arrived at the apartment. Now, From there is contact coming into him. People are trying to get a hold of him on the radio to find out status and things like that.
Yeah.
He does not answer his radio after that and never radios back again.
Oh.
Gone. Disappeared. Just not answering the radio. So they're like, okay, well, maybe it died. Doubt it, but maybe it died. But so the detective they're looking for is William Ray Tate, goes by Ray here. And Tate here, he's born June 14th, 1947. So, was he 34 at this point?
Oh,
Something
yeah,
like
he's
that.
a young man. That's wild.
33, young man. He's from Siloam Springs in Benton County. And police can't reach Tate on his radio by 6:30, so they start to be a little bit worried. And whether or not it died or not, they still want to know. So at 7:10 p.m., Detective Davis, the other guy, he goes to the apartment as well. He goes to the address that he knew Tate was going to.
Oh.
He shows up to find the door ajar. He's like, okay. He opens the door and doesn't see anybody. There's no Tate. There's no Joanna Price. Joanna's friend isn't there.
No Tate car or anything like that?
No, that's the thing. Nothing is there. But he does find the telephone receiver cord ripped from its socket.
Yeah.
And he finds his partner's flashlight.
It's like a horror movie.
Lens down on the table, standing up as they set him, one of the mag lights, and he said, this is one of our flashlights. Yeah. He's like, why the fuck would he'd never leave his flashlight behind.
Never.
That's crazy. So at this point, no people, phone ripped out of the wall, his partner's flashlight there. Now they freak out. Now
alien abduction kind of shit.
Yeah. By 8 p.m., it is a full-on search for Tate's police car, which is an unmarked car, by the way, which also doesn't help him.
Oh, that's not helpful.
That's not helpful. At least a marked car, you'd be easier to find. It's just a blue sedan, so it's hard to find.
Yeah. In 81, when they didn't have trackers on those
No
things,
trackers, no GPS.
You have no fucking idea. Yeah.
You just had to look. So who knows? Now, let's find out who the hell they were looking for to begin with when they went in. Larry. Larry A. Price is his name. Larry is the missing person. He is born April 1st, 1959. He was, 21 at this point in time, for Christ's sake. Didn't even turn 22 yet. He's got a dad named Burl, which is a great dad name, B-U-R-L, Burl, like Burl Ives, the guy who sings the Christmas songs. Fucking, that's a real old dad name.
I don't like any name like that. Like
this is my dad, Burl. Burl sounds cool.
Milty, Uncle Milt. That's a good name, too.
Milton Berle? Yeah, because he's Milton Berle.
Because he's a kind old man. It's just such a
He
nice
is not
name.
a kind old man, Milton Berle.
He wasn't kind?
Fuck no. He was the biggest dick in show business. Everyone hated
Jesus.
Milton Berle.
I've never heard that. I heard he had
God.
the biggest dick in show business.
He had he loved showing it to everybody. But he was a complete asshole, that guy. Everybody hated him. Yeah, no one liked Milton Berle. He's a real dick.
No kidding.
Yeah, real dick.
Well, never mind.
Look up his contract that he signed in the early 50s. It's incredible. Yeah. It's incredible. Like
what?
To TV, a TV deal. Because because back when TV first started, it was only like in the New York City area.
Yeah.
And he got like an 80 share. Like everyone that had a TV watched him. So they were like, oh man, we got to get this guy signed. So they signed him to like a 25-year deal for like crazy money every week. And then by the time it started going national in like 2 years, nobody watched him anymore because they were like, that he's too New Yorky and too whatever. So they really lost their asses on the deal. It's very interesting.
Whoops. They really bet hard.
He made money for decades though, Milton Berle. So he's got a mom named Geraldine, Burl and Geraldine. Those are parents there.
Hell yeah.
And his wife is Joanna Claudette Parker Price now, but she was born Joanna Claudette Parker. She's born August 13th, 1959, so they're only a few months apart. Her dad is named Claude, which is why she's Claudette. Yeah. And her mom's name is Patsy Parker. Patsy Parker.
Great names.
Great names for parents. She came from a very small community here. I guess Larry was from Flat Rock, and she was from Lamar, which is a very small town. But they met in high school, and they started dating in the 12th grade when they were seniors, which was like a year and a half ago.
Yeah. I mean, it was just a minute ago, yeah. But it's all in Arkansas, huh?
Yeah, it's all in the little area here. They had fun together. They have a lot of things in common. She's real shy. Larry's real outgoing. She's short. He's tall. it all works here. They literally said, we both have very thick brown hair. We'd make pretty babies. And so they got married.
Yeah.
As you do
Yeah.
when you're in Arkansas and it's 1978.
Yeah. You're cute enough.
Yep. They get married in August of 1978, which means that, he was, God.
Almost 20, right?
He was born in 59. So
19.
19, barely. Well, she wasn't even 19. Well, interesting. Okay. So they get married. Now, so high school sweethearts get married. Larry gets a job at Baldor Electric Company as a machinist. So that's what he's been doing. And Joanna has a job too, but she's training to be a registered nurse. She's going to school for that.
Okay.
And so they get an apartment together. And they get an apartment managed and partially owned by a guy named Holly Kim Gentry.
Is that right?
Holly Kim is his name.
Awesome.
I'll give you the explanation for that, by the way. He's born August 12th, 1953. Real nice guy, this Holly Gentry, from what everybody says. Just like a easygoing, everybody likes him, goes with the flow type of guy. Befriended them pretty quickly after renting them their apartment here. He's a part owner of the complex also. Okay. And so he manages it. He's a nice guy. He's from Alma, Arkansas. His dad is named Robert. He has a brother and a sister, and also a sister that died in infancy in 1948.
Damn it.
47 to 48 here. He graduated from Alma High School, which I believe we've talked about Alma before here on this show.
That sounds familiar.
And then he went to the University of Arkansas and graduated from there too.
Attaboy.
He was a manager of Phoenix Village Mall and also part owner of this apartment complex.
Wow.
He goes very much into church, where he's a member of the choir. And former member of the deacons of the church and a commander of the Royal Rangers, a member, which is, I don't know what that is. I guess it's part of the Crawford County Mounted Patrol.
Oh.
So I guess it's like a voluntary
Royal
unit that rolls out the horses when there's a problem. I don't know why you would need that, like riot control in a town of 1,000 people, but
on horseback, that's frightening too. That's aggressive.
Well, they use that in like Manhattan, where there's huge crowds of people to control. This is even Fort Smith, where he hangs out, is still 80,000 people.
Form of what could be the crowd?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know where they're getting a crowd from. You'd really have to gather everybody to get a crowd. Wow. So he's also a member of the Christian Men's Business Committee, and the International Council of Shopping Centers, which I had no idea there was an International Council of Strip Malls, but there is. And
he's
we're going to talk
doing
about
well for himself.
He's also named, and this you could take it either way, because we've mentioned this one other time on the show, and the guy who we talked about was a horrible murderer that was a part of it. He is named in one of the books of the Outstanding Young Men of America. Again, it's back again. The Outstanding Young Men of America. My God.
I can't believe it exists.
It's the funniest thing in the world. I really want every copy of all those, just to look up those people and find out how many of them are like murderers and rapists. And
I want to look at all of your child molesters.
I love it. So he's got a wife and a son, Holly Kim. He has plans for building a strip mall. And he is right on target for the timing on that. 1980 strip malls are blowing up. He and his brother Mark, who is a minister and taught at the Central Bible College in Springfield, Missouri, they said they felt called to build the stores. God said, we need a yarn barn. God said the Dollar General must go here.
Yeah.
We feel.
We need a TV repair shop, a coin-operated laundromat.
Gotta have a laundromat. Then you gotta have a dry cleaner too, just in case. You never know. So that's what's going on. Maybe an ice cream shop, something like that. So, and they needed. Well, they said the calling was to build the stores so that they'd make more money to finance Mark's mission work. So that's the calling.
Oh, the whole goal is to get to those underdeveloped countries and lock them into Christianity.
Yeah. And then fucking, yes, and tell them a new lie rather than the ones they've been told their whole, and get more money.
Perpetual money.
Perpetual. They were both devoted to church here, super into it, the Faith Assembly of God in Fort Smith. And Holly Gentry does youth work with his church too. And he said he felt the need to carry the gospel to the young children in other parts of the world.
Sure.
So the Royal Rangers, by the way, are a group of children that he leads.
Kids on horseback?
Not on horseback at all.
Okay.
He just also is part of the mounted people. But the Royal Rangers are like the Christian Boy Scouts in this area, I think. They like to, which is basically the Boy Scouts. He takes them camping and hiking and all that kind of shit, which is what they do. The year before, he took them all the way to the Rockies to camp out.
It's a long ride.
Now, his name, he explained it that my sweet mama, Odessa Howard, loved cowboys.
Yeah.
That's what she said. And he said that she saw a movie with Jimmy Stewart and he played a hero whose name was Holly. That is how he got the name Holly. And then they went, might as well go all the way and name him Kim as his middle name.
He didn't get Kimberly. He just got Kim.
Kim. K-I-M.
Okay.
That's it. So, yeah, they're like, maybe people think he's Asian. And they laughed.
It is interesting how cowboys got a lot of girl names.
They do. They do.
A shitload of them.
It's an interesting, I wonder why. I don't know.
I don't know what that is. I'd love to read a book.
You going to follow it?
Probably not. I just want to know why they did that. But it's a very
that's interesting.
There's a lot of Tracys, a lot of Stacys. There's a lot of ladies' names in cowboy culture.
Was it Johnny Cash that did it?
No, it was before this boy named
I was going to ask,
Sue
or was it before that?
It was long,
or was he just commenting on the trend?
There's been boys named Lauren since the 1800s.
Yeah, that was it's spelled Loren. That's different. I think that came before the women's name of Lauren, honestly.
It might have.
I've never read about anybody from the 17th century named Lauren.
There was a lot of Laura.
Laura, Lauren I think came later. It sounds like a 70s name, Lauren.
I'll bet it's pioneer shit. Probably.
Maybe. Who knows? December 16th, 1980 comes around. Now, the Prices, Larry and Joanna, agree to help Holly Gentry sell a car for him. Holly's got a lot of shit going on. He's a very busy guy, and he doesn't have time to take calls and sell this car.
Sure.
So he said, hey, if you guys get calls, if you have time, just will you show this car for me and, just kind of whatever, try to sell it for me. And they're friends, so they agree. So they put an ad in the paper on December 16th. It's a classified ad in the Southwest Times Record. And it reads, must sell 1979 Ford LTD, two-door, silver with maroon top and interior, very clean, $4,295.
Interesting color scheme of that car.
It's strange. And that's a year-old car. It's a 79.
Yeah.
We're in December of 80. And $4,295 is the price.
Right.
See at 710 North 48th, Apartment 1, or call 785-4185. Okay, so by January 5th, they still have the car. Still haven't sold the car, which around the week of Christmas is not a great time to sell a car.
You're going to move $4,000 worth of car in that in 70 and 81? That's tough.
People, A, need money for Christmas.
Yeah.
And B, it's just not.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of
necessity.
It's not a necessity, and you're also busy.
Right.
You got family shit and all, kids and all. You don't have time to go look at
4,000. That's around what that car costs new anyway.
I don't know. And 80, who knows? I don't know what kind of features it has.
$6,000, brand new 5, something like that.
Nah, the 80, they were more than that by 80.
Were they?
Yeah, because it's a big car.
For
it's a pretty chunky car. Probably get a Toyota for that price back then.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can get anything more than that. January 5th, 1981, 8:30 a.m. Okay, this is someone wanted to see the car. Yeah. All right. So Larry answered his apartment door and lets a man in who's interested in the car. Okay. They go out and take a test drive of the car. Go out and take a spin real quick. So they go out. He says, sure, I'll go with you here. So Joanna is still in the house, and it's January, it's cold, And she is going back. This is her first day back, I guess. No, it's not quite started yet, nursing school.
Right.
So she's doing nursing school. She has one more week off for Christmas break, and then she goes back to nursing school. So she's doing a part-time job, secretarial work at the Phoenix Village Mall, which her neighbors got her and her friends got her that job. And then she's got to go back to class and do all that shit. So I guess, what is it, West Ark? West Ark, Fort Smith is where she it's a community college in Fort Smith, West Ark.
Yeah.
Like Western Arkansas. Wasn't far, so that's where she's been going. She's always wanted to be a nurse.
Okay.
And she's eager to get back to school, too. I guess she does pediatrics, psychology, and ICU are her areas, which are all interesting areas. Now, Larry's out for a test drive. She's getting dressed for her day at work in the bedroom. And, so somebody had come that morning, and she said, yeah, whatever, great deal. So Joanna puts her shoes on. She's got khaki slacks. She's got some brown shoes. She puts those on, a white top, and, she's getting ready. She could hear the man and her husband return in the living room.
Oh, yeah. You can hear that car coming.
She heard the door close.
Okay.
In the living room. Now, she wanted to get rid of this car already. Number one, because it was only going to be in the paper for another couple days, and then they'd had to rerun the ad.
Re-up
So that's annoying, and she felt bad about it. She wished that she and Larry could afford to buy it because it was a nice car, but they were, a young couple like this. They can't afford a car like that. So too new for them. So now one of the neighbors had told them that a man had come by on Saturday afternoon to look at the car, and he told Larry, to tell you the truth, he didn't look like he could afford that car. And Larry said, oh, don't judge a book by its cover. You never know. You never. And that's a fact. You never know where someone's coming from, especially on a Saturday.
Yeah.
He could have been doing anything. Could have been working in his yard, then decided to look at a car, and he looks like a bum, but he's very wealthy. He owns that big house that we did in the real estate report.
Yeah.
It's like, I got $900,000 sunk into Arkansas.
He owns
Shit's
all
crazy.
4 of those places.
Yeah, exactly. But the car needs to get sold, like we said. The 6th of January is the last day it's going to run, which is the next day. Yeah. So there we go. Now, she walks out of the bedroom, says hi to Larry, asks how the test drive was.
Yeah.
Larry said, this guy, I think he wants to buy the car. So they're like, great. She notices Larry made coffee because there was 2 cups out on the coffee table. So immediately brought this guy in, gave him a cup of coffee.
Awesome.
Larry's a nice guy. So they were doing that. So he looked a little disheveled, this guy. He had a blue jacket frayed around the collar and sleeves. And underneath that, he had a blue shirt with what looked like an insulated shirt under it. Okay. And he had a mustache and long curly sideburns and a big comb over his bald spot, this guy.
That's a hell of an outfit.
That is quite looking. That's how you want to look right there. All the ladies. Once he gets in that LTD, I mean, honestly, it's going to be dangerous. The amount of fucking women that are going to bum rush him is going to be dangerous.
He is the human personification of a '79 Ford LTD.
He is. But he'd be like a 72 with some rust on the doors. In '80s, '79 still pretty new. This guy's been around, he's been through the ringer a little bit here. So that's what he's doing. He's got glasses that are kind of out of style, thick lenses, black frames like the 60s, or he's in prison, one of those, or the Army or something. He's thin.
What's his goddamn name? Shit. Now it doesn't matter.
Ed Kemper?
No.
Is that who you're going for?
San Francisco serial killer never caught him. The Zodiac. Bingo.
Zodiac. There you go. So yeah, kind of like that. He's thin, kind of sunken in looking, but he looks wiry. He looks like he's not a pushover. He doesn't look frail. He just looks like sinewy kind of. Yeah. And also he kind of smelled a little bit. A little stinky.
Hot. Yeah.
Like I said, he's going to have to fight him off with a stick once he gets in that LTD. They're going to be diving on the hood across the windshield.
Yeah.
He's going to be running the windshield wipers just to knock off the women. They're diving on, throwing their panties, stuffing them in the windows.
Turning the windshield wipers around and spraying water at the ladies. Get back.
Get back. Go. So that's how he is. Now, she wasn't sure that he looked like he could afford it, but that's not really her problem. And she's like, well, it's, Why would he look at a car he can't afford? So she took off. They made plans to see each other around noon. They made plans to try a Mexican place, which sounds terrifying in 1981 in Arkansas. Can you imagine how shitty that Mexican food was?
Is it new and hip, or is it just...
No. I mean, Mexican food is at that point.
Yeah.
Mexican food really didn't hit America till like the 70s, outside of the Southwest, obviously.
Sure. Yeah.
Really didn't hit till later. And like, there was people, I can't remember what I saw it on, but people were talking about in the 70s, they discovered nachos, and everyone was like, oh my God, you can just get these chips and you put cheese on it, and you just put it in the oven for a minute and it melts on there. It's incredible. That blew their fucking minds.
They didn't discover nachos. They discovered cheese on chips.
Cheese on chips. To them, nachos. Yeah. This was, in New York in the 70s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was not very popular. So they talk about, neither of them, I guess, like to wear coats for some reason, which is interesting.
Okay.
So they talk about seeing each other at noon, and she leaves Larry and this gentleman in the house here. Apparently, he wanted to basically, he asked if he could use the phone. He wants to call his wife to go over the car with her, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So Larry says, sure, phone's in the bedroom. I'll be right back. Yeah. And he walks Joanna out to the car. And she takes her keys out of her purse, hands them to him for some reason. Oh, because he's going to lock the door of the house. I don't know if they only have one set of keys. So anyway, he gives her, he unlocked the door and held it for her while I got it. He opens the door he takes the keys, opens the door for her. She gets in.
Yeah.
They've been married very short amount of time. Yeah. And then, and that's that. And then gives the keys back to her. And she leaves with those two in the house alone. Now, while this is going on, the man inside is in their dresser snooping through their drawers.
Oh.
And he finds a checkbook and tears out a check and puts the checkbook back.
Okay.
So this guy's basically trying to get Larry to take him with the car to go see his wife so his wife can see the car. That's what's going on at this point. So apparently, from what we understand, they left in the car together to go show his wife, is what they think here. And they're talking small talk and all that kind of shit. Now, noon comes around, and Larry Price does not show up at lunch. No tacos for Larry. So that's when Joanna calls a neighbor and asks the neighbor, will you go check on him, basically? Her friend Carol, who lived in the same apartment complex, and she said, I'm sorry to ask you, but do you mind walking down and seeing if Larry's home? He's supposed to pick me up for lunch, and, I'm kind of worried, basically. He hasn't come. She said, also, see if that car that's for sale is still parked out front. So see if that guy bought that car or not, basically. So Joanna gives her the office number to where she's at, and they go. So Carol calls back and said, I called and got no answer. Then I went down and knocked on the door a bunch of times. Your cat peeked through the curtains, but I didn't see any people.
Okay.
That's that. They said, what about the car? Was the car there? Larry always parks in a certain spot, and that's where she'd left him earlier. And so she's like,
that's where the car is.
And they said, yes, Larry's car is there, but the car he's selling was gone. So his car's there. He won't answer the door, or he's not home, and the for sale car is gone. So now she's really worried, Joanna. Now she's like, none of that is right. None of that's right.
Yeah, as long as if there's no Larry, then we got a problem.
We got a problem, and he's not answering the door, but his car's there, but the other car's gone. So and he's not. It's strange, and he's not at work, so it makes no sense. So like I said, she called Baldor Electric at 1 o'clock and called it again at 3:30, and then at 5 o'clock went down with Holly Gentry,
right? The cop,
the neighbor. No, Holly Gentry
is the boss. Yeah,
the neighbor, the guy with the complex who's selling the car.
Yeah,
she goes with him to the police station to say what the fuck, basically, right? So Ray Tate, he takes the case. Detective Tate, 604. He calls in. I'm here. I'm at the location. What up? And then 6:30 comes around and he's not heard from again.
Answering again.
After that. Now, a little bit about William Ray Tate here, the detective. He's got a wife. He's got 2 kids. Yeah. He's got a boy and a girl. He's got a wife named Anita. He joined the Fort Smith Police Department in June of 76, and for the last 2 years or so, he's been a detective. Nice. He's also a master sergeant in the Air National Guard, the Arkansas Air National Guard Reserves, and was a recruiter for them as well.
Yeah.
So he does a lot. But he can't be reached on his radio. So it's 7 p.m. That is when his partner, Detective Davis, who, by the way, goes by Poncho here. Yeah. So Detective Davis here gets a call, and it's Burl Price, Larry's dad.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's interesting. He sounded very worried, and he said, I helped fill out the missing person report on your son. How can I help you? And Dad Burl said, we were supposed to meet Joanna at her apartment, but she's not there. She called us this afternoon and begged us to come to Fort Smith. And they said, well, what time was this? When did you get to the apartment? Mm-hmm. And Burl says, we got here about 6:30, but the place was empty and the lights were on. We went over to Tom Gilbert's apartment, and he called the police station for me, but the lady, whoever she was, told us that Detective Tate and Joanna and Holly had left earlier. So that's at least, if you're that's some sort of relief. Where is my daughter-in-law? Well, she went to the police station and then left with a detective. So
left with a cop. That's good.
At least she's safe, they think here. So and the detective says, where are you now? And Burl says, we're at Tom Gilbert's apartment, and we waited, but then we went over to the state police headquarters to see if they could help us, but we're back here at Tom's now, and we're scared to death. Joanna's parents are here with me and my wife. So, I mean, by 6:30, everyone's families are there looking
They're
for
all
them.
Gathered together. They at least care about each other. They talk a lot and communicate enough to where they know something's off.
Yeah, and they're young. They're still young, so it's not like I think they think of these people as kids still, and you want to find out where they are. So this detective said, I will be there. Detective Davis said, it'll take me about 10 minutes. I'll be there. Don't worry. I'm on the way. So 7:10 p.m., the front door to apartment 1, slightly ajar. So he walks inside hesitatingly, like we said at the top of the show. The front door leads directly to the living room. He sees 2 coffee cups that Joanna had mentioned earlier, sitting on the table in front of the couch. And next to the cups was a large face-down flashlight, the cop's flashlight. Mm-hmm. So he said, oh, this is strange. So he goes into the apartment a little further and looks around and notices that it's really clean and tidy, no dirty dishes, no dirty clothes tossed on chairs, just tidy, very, very tidy. And he said, he sees a lot of the inside of homes, and this was pretty fucking immaculate compared to most other places he goes. Yeah, he said, obviously they take care of their home, and, they seem like decent people here. In the bedroom, the bed is made. The room is in perfect order. The phone is still plugged into the wall, but the wires to the phone itself had been jerked out of the wall.
Out of the back of the phone.
The receiver wires pulled out. It's probably one of those where it's connected, not the plug-in ones. Right. Back then, it was still you got your phone from the phone company, and it was that big fucking...
Yeah, it's like soldered into the receiver and soldered into the box. Yeah.
Big line that goes in the back, and that's what's that. So now, Joanna had told the detectives earlier that she knew where the papers were to the Gentry car that was for sale. So this cop looks around to see if he can see any envelopes or manila folders lying around that look like they might contain,
papers,
official paperwork. And he didn't find anything. So he walks across the apartment yard to a home across the street and asks to use their phone. He calls the police station and asks for an alert to be put out for missing people. Joanna Price, Holly Gentry, Larry Price, who's already reported missing, and now add Detective Ray Tate to the mix too, because he ain't here and his car isn't here. Yeah. His flashlight's here, but he's not answering his radio. There's a problem. So that's crazy. He didn't want to use his radio because he didn't want to. That's why he called on the phone, because he didn't know if somebody had a scanner, whoever did this, and would know what was going on. And now they know to run. So he also asked that a team be sent out to the apartment to take fingerprints and perform, an investigation to lock it down, basically. Then he walks back to the apartment complex and he finds Burl Price again. And he says, it looks like Detective Tate's police car is missing. His flashlight's on the coffee table. The phone is torn up and ripped out. I just called the station and we've put out an alert. My guess is they've all been kidnapped, but we're going to find them. Which is not what you want to hear from the cops when you call it. My guess is everybody's been kidnapped, but it'll be fine.
My guess is we have 4 separate kidnappings, and this person's so badass they can get detectives.
Even an armed detective and everything, which seems far-fetched. You know what I mean? That would happen.
Seems like a tough that's probably the hardest kidnapping.
An on-duty police officer, probably. Yeah, he's got a lot.
On guard.
It's a tough one. Yeah, he's on guard. He's got a gun. He's got several
Head
weapons.
on a swivel.
You would think so.
Situational awareness. This guy's not fucking around.
No. So 8 p.m., the Arkansas and Oklahoma police all start to search because now there's a missing. It's one thing if you got a missing couple, or 3 missing people, but when there's a missing cop, then they all seem to really have a lot of energy about it at that point.
It's interesting, isn't it?
And then, it's interesting. So they start the search at 10:45 p.m. 2 hours and 45 minutes later. Holly Gentry's LTD is found.
The silver with the red top. That one.
Not bad.
For sale. Yeah.
They find it. It is at the Central Mall in Fort Smith.
Oh.
Okay. So that's where they find it. Within minutes, a bunch of people arrive at the scene, including Detective Davis. The car is locked, so they have to get a locksmith to open the doors. Yeah. They also got someone to open the trunk because they wanted to see if perhaps Larry was in the trunk of his car.
Anything's in the trunk,
of that
or anybody.
Car.
Yeah.
Anybody. And if he was he dead? He could have been alive. Yeah. They opened the trunk, completely empty except for a spare tire. Like you were just selling it and you cleared all your shit out of there. Yeah. No map books or anything like that. Now, the car is taken to the police garage to be fingerprinted and processed for all physical evidence. Yeah. They're happy to have found the LTD, but they're saying the car is very near the Interstate 540, which connects to the Interstate 40, which we don't like that. No. If the kidnapper ditched the LTD and took off, with or without these people, he could be in Tennessee by now, or he could be in Texas by now, or he could be
3-hour head start. Yeah,
he could be anywhere, halfway through Oklahoma by now. So they didn't know. They didn't know if the kidnapper ditched the LTD and sped away. Did he have Larry Price with him? Yeah. And also, where the fuck are Holly Gentry, Joanna Price, and Detective Tate? Yeah. Where'd they go?
Right.
Someone else kidnapped them? What's happening right now? Like, this is all very confusing.
If he stole Larry and took off with him, like, people were looking for them hours later.
Yeah. Before the detective was even on the scene. So it makes no sense. Then 11:25 p.m. So this is,
almost the next day.
Less than 45 minutes later. Yeah. Still that evening. 11:25 p.m. They find Detective Tate's car.
Found his car now.
Not bad. Within 3 hours of starting the search, they found both cars they were looking for. It's pretty impressive, honestly, without GPS. It is recovered at a Union 76 truck stop. So a big truck stop gas station. Yeah. There are 57 unexplained miles on the odometer, by the way.
57?
57 unexplained miles that are not like from the apartment to here. Yeah. 57 the extra miles. They don't know where the hell they came from. Because every time they get in the car, they have to do mileage, so they know exactly what it is. That's 11:25. There is, so they're trying to figure it out, and there's dust on the car, like a lot of dust, like dirt road dust. So they're like, this looks like, because it was clean when Detective Tate got in it, so it looks like it may have been driven on dirt roads for possibly 57 miles.
Yeah,
which is a bad sign when someone's been kidnapped. Oh. And you've been taken on a dirt road. Now, the cops, they're trying to figure out what's going on here. They say, this is a quote from the police captain. He says, Detective Tate and Mr. Gentry were with Mrs. Price, who was a witness. That's the only thing we can attach to this. Because they're like, what does this have to do with Larry Price disappearing? And they're like, we don't know.
Right.
A cop came to investigate to find that out, and then he disappeared with the reporting people, too. So who the hell knows what's going on?
However, whatever it has in common, it has something real in common.
Yeah, and he said, we don't know, though. We just don't know. We can attach it that they make, they're happen on the same day, but other than that, we don't know. So they suspend looking, they find the cars and suspend looking for people because they have no idea where they're even looking until 6 a.m. the next morning. So they're like, let's go home, get a couple hours sleep, and then come back and figure this shit out, essentially. So police begin a day of searching on January 6th, 1981, 6 a.m. 100 cops organized for a search effort. It's a lot.
How do you even... There's got to be more than one person and more than one car because there's cars everywhere.
There's that car. Yeah, all the cars that they found both the cars they're looking for. So now there's a third car somewhere, obviously, or a fourth car.
And these two cars aren't anywhere near each other.
Yeah, and what are the odds of someone getting kidnapped? You report it, get a cop over there, and then you're all kidnapped too.
Yeah.
The odds of that are crazy.
Outrageous,
They're outrageous. So this is bonkers. At 9 a.m., there is a man waiting at the bank for the doors to open. Okay, just waiting there to get in. Okay. They open the bank for him, and now this guy said, my name's Thomas Simmons. I deposited a check yesterday on the 5th, the day of the disappearances, but I just found out from the guy who wrote it that it's no good. He said, oh, shit, I wrote you a check. It's going to bounce. He said, so I'd like to get that check back. I don't want to have to pay no fee on no return check, he said.
Yeah.
Which do you, if a check bounces that you deposit from someone else, you have to pay that fee or do they pay a fee?
I mean,
you both pay a fee.
I don't know who pays the fee there. I just know you don't get the funds.
I know you don't get the funds. So the teller, Elizabeth Arnold, asks for his address and bank account number and phone number and writes it all down. And then she asked for the name of the person who wrote the check.
Yeah.
And he said, Larry Price. It was on a Clarksville bank. So the teller recognized from the news the night before, the 10 o'clock news saying Larry Price is missing. She recognized the name. Small town. And she said, I hope it's not that same man who was kidnapped yesterday.
She said that out loud?
She said that out loud. Yeah. Oh, my God, that's that name. I heard that yesterday. I hope it's not the guy who got kidnapped. And he said, I hope not, too. Yeah. And she said, just a minute, sir. I have to talk with our bookkeeper. Her office is in the back, and she can tell me whether we can get the check back right now or not.
Yeah.
So they go into the back room, talks to the bookkeeper, who happens to be married to a Van Buren, Arkansas policeman, by the way.
Of course.
The assistant police chief, as a matter of fact. And the woman in the back, the bookkeeper, she recognized the name as well, Larry Price. And she tells the teller, go back and tell him that the check's already been sent off and we can't get it back. It goes first to Little Rock, then on to Clarksville, so it's going to be a few days. It'll be at least Friday before he can actually pick up the physical check.
Okay.
It's Tuesday now. She then said, she said that she told the man waiting at the counter, she goes out, I don't have the check. This guy leaves the bank. He goes, okay, and he leaves. Now, while he's backing out of the parking space, the bookkeeper, whose husband's a cop, writes down his license plate number.
Smart move.
And calls her husband as soon as she gets back in the bank and said, there was a guy in here trying to get a check back from a kidnapped guy. Don't know if it means anything, but you'd probably know more about this than me.
Guy.
Possibly kidnapped guy. So they do all of that. They get his license plate number. Now, the day before, he had come in and deposited the check. It was a $350 check.
Yeah.
And they said he deposited $300 and got $50 in cash.
Uh-oh.
And they said then he tried to get the check back and whatever. So now he's being, they call it in. So now the license plate number is called into the police and they figure out who this person is. Yeah. And he wasn't lying at the bank about his name. His name is Thomas Winford Simmons. And he's 37 years old. Mm-hmm. And they find out when looking him up that he is a parolee from federal prison.
Nice.
At the moment. They find out he works at a sand and gravel company because his parole officer knows where he works.
And that's what they do.
That's helpful. You know exactly where those guys are. And they find out that he had not been at work the day before.
Oh.
He had apparently said he was got in a car accident and called in.
Oh, the car seems to be running.
Yeah. So that's what happened. Then 3:14 p.m. on the 6th. So this is all going on, the bank and all that. They're looking for everybody at 3:14 p.m. and We know the exact time because you'd remember this shit, put it that way. A farmer in the area, Clyde McClure, is doing some shit here. He notices blood on the ground near his diesel tank. And he says, my goddamn dog's killed a rabbit or something again. Farm dogs kill all sorts of shit. So then he returns and when he walks off and comes back. When he comes back, he spots what he describes as, quote, bare flesh. There. So he reports this to the police, and the police come in here and
just a chunk of it?
Just some bare flesh. Well, you can see apparently they find some farm equipment. There is a large tractor tire near a mounted diesel fuel tank. And he said, I was coming back and I saw bare flesh and I had a pretty good idea what it was. And they find out that it is bodies is what it is.
Plural.
3 bodies. 3. How many are we looking for? Yeah. How many are we looking for?
There's still more out there.
We got 4. Yeah.
We're not done.
So 3. So they discover these 3 bodies. It is a large tractor tire, and there is 5-gallon oil containers all on top of it. Like that. That's what someone did to hide it. Just put some oil containers on there. They find out this is the bodies of Holly Gentry, Joanna Price, and Detective Tate.
Wow.
They're all in this tractor.
Larry.
We still don't know where Larry is.
Maybe
all Larry's
in a
psychopath.
Yeah.
Maybe Larry's a psychopath and he did all this shit. They don't know. Now, Tate's hands were cuffed behind him with his own handcuffs.
Oh, really?
Yes. Joanna Price was on the bottom of the pile. Gentry was bound with a small white cord that was around his hands, and then one was wrapped around one of his ankles, and he had like one shoe and one sock missing, Holly Gentry. Joanna is on the bottom of the pile. They also find a .38 caliber revolver with traces of blood, also found, and they find that all 3 have been shot execution style at the base of the skull.
Weird.
And all 3 have their collars of their shirts pulled like halfway over their head, like they were being Cornholio. And
what is that?
I guess maybe for blowback
or dragging it. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, there's also the gun shot is in the collar, so it was pulled over before the shooting happened. So I don't know if that is a way to stop the blowback. Is what I'm imagining. Yeah. That's all I can think. So all 3 of them have been shot. The gun is a .38 Special Colt Cobra 6-shot with a 2-inch barrel, and the serial numbers are filed off of it.
I was stolen one. Nice.
But they were able to. By the way, they don't find Detective Tate's service weapon. That's not his service weapon. The serial numbers are filed off, but not very well, as we'll find out here. Each
those
of
things
the
are
collars
stamped in so deep.
Yeah, on purpose, because people can't easily file them off. Yeah,
it's very hard to file that off. It's
so you gotta get
deep.
some equipment. Yeah, you really do. Each of them were shot once at the base of the skull and killed execution style. Like we said. So missing from the scene are all 3 of the wallets, and the 2 men's wallets and Joanna's purse are all missing. They weren't at the apartment either. Joanna's body, they find, has slight bruising in the genital area, and her pantyhose are on wrong side out, inside out, and her belt was not looped through all the loops.
That's weird.
So that's not a good thing. We'll find out about that. Now, the pistol is identified tentatively as the murder weapon, which is just pretty obvious. They have 38 holes in their head. There's a 38 there. Yeah. Probably
the numbers filed off. It didn't take it with them. It's probably the one.
They were able to figure out the numbers, though, of the gun, the serial numbers. Now, the search is they're still searching now even more frantically for Larry Price because now they know what happened to the other 3. So, like, where the fuck is he?
Yeah, he's willing to kill cops.
Yeah, anything. So they said one of the police people announced, quote, "We have very little hope of finding him alive."
Yeah.
Either he's the murderer or he's probably dead, too.
Right.
That's
if he's not, he is.
Exactly. Yeah. January 7th, 1981, the next day, Wednesday, 9:20 p.m., oh, man, there is a creek bed in Crawford County at a recreation area. Sure. Pretty rural, got to know where it is. Yeah. In that creek bed, they find the body of Larry Price. An anonymous, this is the wild part too. They found it because it's so rural. They weren't looking there. They found it because an anonymous caller called the sheriff's department and just said to search the recreation area.
And then left?
We just called. It's a phone call. We have no
and
idea.
Hung up, you know what I mean? And then walked away?
Yeah. That's it.
Who's that guy?
Right? Who the fuck is doing that? And that's the major mystery. In this entire case, we never found out who made that fucking phone call.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy. We don't know who made the phone call. Someone made the phone call and said that, and his body is found. He is also shot exactly the same, close range, base of the skull, shirt pulled over his head. Yeah. Clearly,
sounds like somebody that minds their own business, but also doesn't want that person to just rot out here.
Possibly, but yeah, somebody must have been told or something.
Yeah.
So, state medical examiner said that they probably, we'll find out, they figure out that he probably died after the other three, even though he was kidnapped well before.
Oh.
They think from the medical examiner thinks he was killed after. So figure out the math there. Now, there is a cab driver, because this is huge news locally. I mean, this is not only are 3 people kidnapped and murdered, but a 4th, and he's a fucking detective who was actively investigating a case. That's crazy. That doesn't happen.
No.
You know, the detectives are there. Very few detectives get murdered on the job.
Yeah.
That's the good part about making detective. Now no one's going to shoot you while you fucking come up to their car. You know what I mean?
Generally, you're putting bad guys in prison, and they stay there for a long time. So you just have to present the evidence in court.
Yeah, you're not when there's a liquor store robbery and they call the cops. You're not running there to stop the guy. You're once everything's done and the crime scene's already set up. That's when you come in and start asking questions. But anybody dangerous is long gone usually with a detective. You know.
And isn't it interesting? They're usually the criminal is usually mad at the DA, not the cops.
Yeah.
He's shooting birds at the judge or firebombing the DA's house.
Well, it's one thing to make arrests and stuff like that, but it's another thing to go to court and tell everyone about it. That's the other thing. That's really. You're gonna come and just blow up my spot in front of a room full of people. It seems more invasive, I think. To be sat down in front of a room full of people with a guy literally judging you with a fucking gavel, right? Judging, and then be like that. Yeah.
Very interesting.
So there's a taxi driver who says he picked up a man at the Central Mall at 5:20 p.m. and took him to the apartment complex. That would line up right. And especially if you took their car, you wouldn't have a car to get back. Right. So he said that that's what happened. He said that the cab driver would try to identify his passenger in a photo, lineup or whatever. He said, though, there was also several apartments in this complex and that this may have been coincidental. But doesn't sound like it because the mall's where the car was found. Yeah. And so this doesn't sound coincidental.
How many people left that mall to go back to that apartment complex?
How many times do you do that usually? You got about 30 of those a day, or is that once every couple of weeks you have to do that? What are we talking about? How many
people in this apartment complex are relying on taxi cabs to get from the mall?
To go to the mall. Yeah, that's weird. So the medical examiner findings this is crazy here. They figure out that Larry most probably died after Joanna and Holly Gentry and Detective Tate. They also said through thorough investigations of Joanna's body, there was evidence of both vaginal and anal rape. Yeah, she was raped in both places there. The state later will say they think it was basically just minutes before she was shot. She was raped twice.
What is that about?
That's horrific. And she's the only one not tied up in that tire too. They concluded that Price may have died after the other victims, but also said nobody can determine the exact times of death except those who witnessed the death. They determined that Larry could have died anywhere between 8 a.m. and 7:30 p.m. on January 5th. And they estimate the time of death for the other victims sometime in the afternoon of January 5th, which we know they were alive at 6 o'clock because they were pulling up to to the apartment with a cop. So we know they were alive at 6. So we know that that's not correct.
Right.
They said,
but we know that, Jesus, but Larry may have witnessed what happened to his wife.
That's possible too. Or they may have been separate.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. They said Mr. Price most probably died after these people, which makes no sense because it makes all the sense in the world when we figure out the timeline of everything. It makes all the sense in the world that you would take Larry, go kill him, then come back.
Yeah.
For more. Where the hell did he stash Larry when he came back to kidnap the other 3?
Right.
Did he have Larry with him? Like just tied up in you know what I mean?
In
like
the trunk of the car or something? Who knows?
Yeah. He didn't have a car. He had to take a taxi because he dropped the LTD off at the mall.
Right. He came back at 5-something.
Yeah. You can't, and he was a single guy. He didn't have Larry with him.
Yeah.
So,
Larry's got to be dead by now.
He's got to be dead by now or stashed somewhere. This isn't like, they're not the Gambino family. They don't have a fucking basement where they got a guy tied to a chair for the next, it doesn't make sense.
Unless he stole the car. He'd have Larry with him if he stole the car. Unless he left Larry in the trunk.
Yeah, and Larry wasn't in the trunk.
Right, but I mean, came back with the cop car, and then pulled him out of the trunk, maybe, and then did whatever.
Maybe.
But either way, Larry would have been banging and screaming in that parking lot to get out of there.
In a mall parking lot. Yeah. No way. In a mall parking lot. Yeah. Wow. So it doesn't. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Where the fuck would he have stashed him?
That's what's so weird. Now, this contradicted assumptions that he was killed first, dumped in the recreation area, and then the other victims were abducted then. That's what the cops figured because it's logical, but the medical evidence says that's not how it happened, which is
interesting.
Super weird. But it was determined all the victims died of contact gunshots to the rear of the head, with the direction being back to front, right to left, and slightly upwards in all 4 of them.
So it's
a right-handed guy.
Yeah.
Yep. In each case, their outer garments were pulled up over their heads so the bullets passed through the material. The bullets retrieved from the heads of the victim were so mutilated that it was impossible to say for sure that they came from that gun, but they're pretty sure it came from that gun. It matches up and it would make a lot of sense. So it's like 99% sure. Now, like I said, Joanna was raped both vaginally and anally, as well as parts of her face had been eaten by an animal as well.
Oh, from inside the tire?
Yes. The eroded area included the eyelids, the nose with the cartilage there, the lips, and muscles on the face. So, like something ate her face.
Cat or something?
They think it was probably the farmer's dogs that ate her face. The hands of all the victims show bruising on the palms and around the wrists. Detective Tate had a large amount of bruising on his hands, indicative that there was some sort of struggle to get out of the bindings that he was in. That he was in cuffs. The knuckles of his left hand were colored with yellow and orange bruises, as well as the fingers and palms of his right hand. And deep blackish purple bruises showed on his wrists where the handcuffs had been placed. He's been struggling hard.
He tried.
Holly Gentry's right palm was covered in bluish purple bruises, and his right thumb was heavily bruised. Grains of sand were seen embedded between his right thumb and right forefinger. So it's very interesting here. They never find Detective Tate's badge and gun.
Oh.
They don't find that. Joanna's got a Timex wristwatch on that is stopped at 150. 150, which is very strange because we know she was alive at 150. She was making phone calls at 1:30, 3 o'clock, and then she's literally at a police station at 5 o'clock.
Yeah. What time did they find her, though? Maybe it died in the morning.
Oh, that's true. They found
1 a.m.
her. Yeah, you're right, 3:14 p.m. So that could have happened 1:50 a.m., but she would have been long dead by then.
Right.
Does it need to be wound every day? Is it one of those?
Bet it does.
I'm not sure.
At Timex, I'll bet it has to be wound.
That's interesting. Now, Holly Gentry's watch was still going. It was still ticking. But they estimate that those 3 bodies were killed after 5 in the afternoon on the 5th of January. Mm-hmm. Now, the guy in the bank, remember him?
Right.
Thomas Winford Simmons, who had the check. They go to his job on January 6th after the check thing, because he had gone right to work after that, and said, would you please come down to the police station to answer some questions about a check you tried to cash. It was drawn on the account of a murder victim, so we'd like to talk to you here. And he said, sure, no problem. And he really has no choice because he's a parolee, so they can talk to him. They can talk to him anytime they want. They can search him anytime they want. He has no rights, essentially. So they go out to the Sand and Gravel Company, to interview Simmons. According to them, cooperative, readily agrees. They go back. He wasn't at work on Monday, the murder day, which is something they note pretty heavily here. Apparently, his foreman here got a call. This was the first day the plant had reopened. They shut down for Christmas. Jesus, what place like this shuts down like an elementary school for Christmas? That's awesome. Wow. Damn. Hope they got paid too. So he said that his secretary came in and told him, hey, that guy, Thomas Simmons, isn't going to come to work today. And he said, why? And she said, well, he said he was in a car wreck and he wouldn't be able to come in till Tuesday.
Okay.
So this guy said, was he hurt? And they said, I don't think so. He said he'll be in tomorrow. So I don't know. Now the foreman didn't want to have to replace Simmons because he was actually a good employee.
Yeah.
He said he was one of the hardest workers he ever had on the job of shovel boy.
Ever.
He's
the best shovel boy you ever saw.
The most impressive shovel boy in the history of shovel boys. If you're a grown man and your job has the title, your job title has the word boy in it, you have fucked your life up royally.
It's pretty bad for you.
Royally, yes.
You need to work harder.
Yes. That means that job is supposed to go to a 16-year-old. That's what that means.
That's meant for a boy.
Yeah, it's meant for a boy. So Simmons had only been employed since Thanksgiving, but he had a reputation for being like a tough guy and a tough worker. Okay. Once he was cleaning out from under the primary crusher, and a large rock fell and hit him on the back, causing him to fall. And they were like, oh, Christ, he's going to be.
Yeah. He's going to sue.
He just said, I'm fine, and went back to work. They were like, okay. So they had asked this guy, how's the new guy working out anyway? And he said, quote, tough as nails. He said the guy boulder fell on him. He got right back up. He said, quote, any other guy would still be in shock. The other men couldn't believe it. They said he hopped up like nothing had happened. A lesser man wouldn't have been able to stand up for days. Lesser man.
Or a man that doesn't need this job as bad.
A man who doesn't need this job to stay out of federal prison might. Yeah. So this guy said, yeah, they come and go pretty fast usually, these parolee workers, especially shovel boys.
Yeah. Shovel boy turnover is pretty high.
Yeah, he said, well, the employment office routed me to a federal probation officer who was looking for a job for his guy who just got out of prison. Mm-hmm. So, we were both desperate pretty much is what he said. And he said the probation officer told me about Simmons. He'd been paroled and was staying with his sister in Kibler. Oh. And he said he needed to find him a job. He said, so I guess you needed a guy, that you needed somebody, and there you go. And the foreman said, yeah, it's a shitty little job, no two ways about it. The federal guy knew it too. And he said, I'm glad that, the Simmons guy's working out for you. I guess everybody deserves a second chance. So, hey, if he does good work, great. The foreman said, I've been taking him down to the Jenny Lind store and having him try out one of those tuna fish sandwiches everybody loves so much. What? There's this new thing called tuna fish. It comes in a can. It's amazing.
Yeah. They mix it with pickles and mustard and a little bit of mayo. They put it between bread. Blows people's minds.
Did it take a while to get to Arkansas from the coasts or something? What the hell are they talking about? So he said he works so damn hard that I have to tell him he needs to take a break. Go smoke a cigarette every once in a while. Relax. You're going to kill yourself out here. He said, we've had some heart-to-heart talks, and I like the guy. He deserves a chance to change his life. His sister thought so, too. Mm-hmm. And, that's it. So he also says that, this guy's a nice guy. He fried some fish up for his sister and her boyfriend at a fish fry up at Lake Fort Smith. Sure. So good guy. Frying fish for my family. Yeah. Now, they talked to Simmons. They said, well, you got a check from Larry Price. You got some splaining to do here because Larry is missing. And He said, well, I encountered Larry Price on Sunday night, which would be the 4th, and the check he gave me the check. And they said, why? Why did he give you this check for $350?
Right.
And he said, well, I don't really want to say because I'm on parole. And they said, look, we're not caring about anything but dead people, right? We're murder police. Don't give a shit about that.
Your parole officer might give a shit about that, but not us.
Right now, nothing's going to happen. We just need to know what's going on.
Guy. Yeah.
So he said, well, the check was for payment for some weed and Quaaludes, which Quaaludes still existed back then.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay. And he said the check, when he encountered Price at a later meeting later on that night on Sunday, Price had told him the check was bad.
Oh.
So the officers tell him that, well, now Larry Price is missing. Simmons clammed right up, said, I'm not talking anymore. I want an attorney. Which for a guy who's been in the system, as we'll talk about, he knows once they start talking to you as a suspect, you ask for a fucking attorney and you shut the fuck up. So the officers then place him under arrest for violation of his parole and cease their questioning and call a public defender to represent him. And we'll talk about this public defender because that's an interesting thing
for the
too.
Drug charge?
Because he said that, and he said he sold weed and Quaaludes, so they arrest him on a violation there. Now, the detective says that they did not consider him a suspect in the murders or kidnapping when he was being escorted by officers from the Arcola, by the way, Arkhola, Arcola Sand and Gravel Company. They said they when they were pulling him in, they had no thought of him as a suspect in the kidnappings and murders, which is a crock of shit.
Yeah.
They just say that because that way they don't have to read him his rights for a while and they can get some preliminary shit out of the way before they read him his rights. But they absolutely thought of him as a suspect.
You've got to.
Yeah. He was taken into custody before noon. By 2:15 p.m., a neighbor of the Prices tells police, holy shit, he had seen a man in a similar description to Larry looking at the Ford LTD that they were selling. So this neighbor is nosy and looks out the window. Then at 2:30 p.m., Donald Seaton, who works in the Phoenix Village Mall parking lot. I don't know what the fuck he's working in a parking lot of a mall doing, but
cars, I guess.
Who the fuck is valet at the mall besides Scottsdale?
Yeah.
Nowhere in Arkansas has mall valet.
Not over there. No, not in
rural Arkansas.
A place where something called Arkhole is.
Arkhole. Can I park your pickup, sir? Thank you very much. All right.
Ain't nobody touching my truck, boy.
Don't worry. I won't knock any of the mud off the flaps. I'll keep it real nice for you.
Yeah.
Nobody touching my truck, boy, while I go into Kohl's and get me something. So
I gotta go to Oshman's for new galoshes.
Oh boy, I need them bad. He tells the officers that he observed a white male sitting in a yellow Toyota, which, by the way, Simmons has a yellow Toyota.
Yeah.
In a yellow Toyota, apparently watching Juana Price's car.
Oh.
He went to the fucking mall to stalk her. This guy took down the license plate, same as the bank teller.
Yeah.
And it turns out coming back to Thomas Simmons. Okay. Then at 2:45, Burl Price called the cops. Burl Price had called the cops, told police the check which Simmons tried to retrieve was written on his son's closed account. And because they showed him the check after that from the bank, and he said the signature was forged as well.
That's not my boy's signature.
Not my boy's signature. Now, a little bit of history, because there's more we're going to talk about, a guy who saw some crazy shit. Yeah. One of the neighbors saw someone, we'll describe it when you get there. Never mind. Okay, now a little history of Thomas Simmons. First of all, he's one of 11 children in rural Arkansas.
Yeah.
So that's never going to be good.
A couple died, yeah.
I would think so, just from rickets and scurvy or some shit, some weird preventable diseases.
Some wild grass disease.
Yeah. He spent most of his adult life in prison. He's from Hot Springs. He'd been living in Kibler for about 2.5 months before the murders. He had moved in with his sister after being paroled in October of 1979 after serving part of a 20-year term for assaulting a federal agent.
Oh.
Now, that's what
20
he was on.
years.
That's what he was on parole for then, but there was more shit too before that.
Okay.
When he was 16, he was arrested in 1960 for stealing cars in Hot Springs. Started early. So picture him, greaser, the fucking, you know,
60s.
that look. This is 1960. So like Grease is set in 1959. So I picture him doing like that, you know, looking like that, stealing cars.
Right.
Or as they call it, boosting probably back then.
Yeah.
Boosting.
He was boosting to hop it up, paint it all black, and
Hop it up. Put some new what the hell they call put some new rings in it. That's what Travolta's always talking about in that movie.
which does nothing, by the way.
No. He's just that's stuck in my head of him
So
talking
funny.
about rings. I don't know why. So August of 62, he was sentenced to 6 months in prison on a Texas conviction of theft by a bailee. So he was on bail and he stole something. Yeah. He also serves a 1-year sentence in 1963 in McAlester, Oklahoma for an assault with intent to commit a felony, which sounds like gonna rape a chick.
Or that, yeah.
That's what that sounds like. That was after he had joined the Air Force in after his auto theft arrest. He went and joined the Air Force, but was discharged for bad conduct in 1961. So they said the military will fit. You know what'll straighten this punk out?
Yeah.
Just like they used to say back, some punk kid will put him in the army.
Yeah.
They said, nope, he's too much of an asshole for us to.
He's already so far gone, we can't fix it.
He's broken.
Yeah.
He'd been
Can't
arrested.
make push-ups get it out of him.
Yeah, he won't even do push-ups. We can't make him. How do you do it? He's been arrested twice in Amarillo, they said, and served 6 months for each crime of theft, and arrested a couple times in Oklahoma City for attempted robbery with a firearm and assault.
Jesus Christ. He's done enough to get a 30-year sentence already.
Already, and he's still young. And along the way, he's a real catch. Somebody just had to sink their hooks into him, and he gets married somewhere in there and has some kids too. Because we need his genetics persisting. A fucking skinny, bald guy with a skinny, bald, ugly guy who's a fucking career arch criminal. We need him to reproduce. We really
Who's
do.
a shovel boy in his late 30s.
A shovel boy. Wow. He was unable to find jobs other than cooking or dishwashing or, things like that. I'm telling you, the kitchen is where anybody can get a job. It's great.
Kitchen or sand and gravel?
One of the two. Yeah, shoveling or a kitchen. You can either wash dishes or shovel the sand. He never stayed at a job for more than a couple of months.
Yeah.
In 1965, he was sentenced to 2 years in Cummins Prison near Pine Bluff, Arkansas, for forgery and uttering.
What is that?
He said some shit that wasn't right, apparently.
Yeah, or speed
Uttering.
bagging a cow's titties.
Yeah, that's it. He was getting down there, really. Really. I just pictured him laying under a cow, just being like, working it
Is that uttering? Like when you put your mouth under the Slurpee machine?
I pictured him hitting it like a speed bag while he laid there. Or he could be double uttering. He could be double milking into his mouth. He
Just
looks
getting
like
a
a
double
porn
titty at a
star
time.
afterwards. Just bukkakied all over his fucking head afterwards. It's really,
Is that uttering?
but loving it, just to being on the ground, being like, yeah, that's how he got caught. It was the screams of passion that caught him. People
It was
were like,
the gargle.
"What the hell's going out there?"
It was
I hear a boy yelling with joy and gargling. I don't know what's going on there.
I think that's screams of joy through unpasteurized milk.
That sounds like unpasteurized ecstasy to me. I'm not positive, but I mean, I'm no doctor or nothing, but seems like it.
Yeah.
So uttering
Joy.
pure joy.
98% fat.
Man. So he's paroled in January of 1967. Then he was returned to that prison in July of 67 on a new 3-year sentence of forgery and more uttering. He's been uttering again.
Get enough.
Keeps uttering.
Yeah.
He was paroled in July of 69 and was returned to the prison again in November of 70 for violation of parole.
God damn.
The violation of his parole was also a crime that he'll be sentenced to as well. In September of 1970, he and his wife and 3 children drove to Little Rock. 3. He needs 3 kids, this fucking guy. 3. There is 3 people with this dipshit's genetics rolling, fucking just screaming through their veins, man. Oh my God.
Who for the last 10 years has been out of prison long enough to fuck 3 times, and that's it.
Barely enough to not pull out 3 times.
Wow.
Barely. I mean, close. So they end up checking into a motel for the night, left the wife and kids in the motel while he tried to go out and rob a few places.
Wow.
He's really learned his lesson.
Trip.
No luck with the robbery. So the next day, he took his family to the Salvation Army to stay while he slept in his car. I did not know the Salvation Army had like quarters.
Barracks? Yeah.
Can you just donate? I know you can give them like old coats. Can you give them like your wife and kids and say, put these out in the showroom for a while?
Put
I don't
these
know.
up also.
Yeah, just I'll come back and get them. Don't worry. It's like a consignment thing or what? But
I mean, I have heard that was a thing, that people did stay at the Salvation Army, but every
like the
time I've ever...
YMCA?
What is it?
It was like the YMCA?
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but every one that I've ever seen was just like
a store.
Secondhand store. There was no...
It's just Goodwill.
Yeah, it's essentially that.
Goodwill with an army slant. That's all it is.
And I guess that makes sense why there's
normal.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense why there's a fake Santa out front of places paying for shit, because what the fuck else do you need all that money for? You got a storefront, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, here, take care of my wife and 3 kids for a minute. So he slept in the car, and on the 6th of September, he robbed a gas station on West 3rd and kidnapped a 17-year-old boy in the process.
Why?
Gary Walaya, who was working there. So rather than, be identified by him, he said, I'll just take him with me.
Right.
He put a knife to his ribs and ordered him to sit on the floorboard with his head between his knees, his own knees, like sit down there on the floorboard. He was intending to let the boy off somewhere, apparently, but everywhere he looked, there was cops all over the place. So instead, he drives for miles into Saline County, where he spotted a wooded area.
Yeah.
He forced the boy out of the car and tied him up with a piece of cloth he'd torn from one of his own kids' clothing. He tore up a fucking onesie so he could tie up a goddamn 17-year-old gas station clerk, which is insane. He then stabbed him several times with a hunting knife.
Oh, fuck.
Moving it back and forth until he felt that the boy had bled enough to die. He'll probably, he's bleeding pretty good. He'll probably die out here. So then he grabbed his hair, pulled his head back, and slit his throat too. This young man, the 17, who for the egregious fucking action of working at a gas station. This is what he deserves. This is crazy. So he left the boy for dead, covered him up with leaves. All of this for $80.
Oh, Lord.
80. Somehow the boy survived.
Wow.
Being stabbed many times with a hunting knife and having his throat slit, he survived.
And jiggled back and forth.
Yeah. He survived, dug himself out of the leaves, and somehow stumbled till he found somebody and got help.
Oh, man.
Which is the that's almost worse than killing him, because now he definitely knows who you are and he can tell the court all the horrible things he's done to you.
And the scars that you're going to have from that, you're never going to forget this piece of shit.
Some poor 17-year-old kid up on the stand talking about just trying to work my shift and, I'm saving up for a car.
Yeah.
I'm saving up to marry my girl, you know what I mean? Or whatever the fuck they would save up for in 1970. So, yeah, he got 45 years for that. Whoa. Which, based on his history.
Yeah.
Yeah, based on his history, that sounds like a right sentence.
Yeah.
You have escalated to the point of now you're hurting people. You're not just stealing things anymore. Oh, now you're trying to kill people.
As far as you know, you've murdered.
Yeah, that's the thing. He must have shit when he figured out that kid was alive. He was, Oh my God, how? So
9 years later, he's out of prison.
Absolutely. And the prosecuting attorney was a guy named Jim Guy Tucker, who later became the governor of Arkansas before Bill Clinton. Oh, yeah. And he wrote the parole board that Simmons was vicious and shouldn't be set free. He's a particularly vicious asshole. Keep him as long as possible.
Yeah.
So he was convicted of that in 1971. It was kidnapping. Wow. So that's when he gets, you, sir, may fuck off. 45 years. Okay. He was held until May 3rd, 1979.
8 years.
which is 20% of his sentence.
Yeah.
At which time he was released. Now, he was released to the U.S. Marshals Service so he could serve a 20-year sentence at Leavenworth for assaulting a federal officer.
Okay.
Somehow he was paroled 17 months later.
Holy shit.
Which is how he ends up in October of 1980 living in Kibler with his sister. So he got 65 years total, state and federal, and he did about
9 of it.
About 10 and change out of 65. That is wild. Wow. That's crazy. And he was only out 3 months before this quadruple murder that they're suspecting him of here. That's crazy. Crazy that they paroled him and then transferred him to the federal prison. They're like, that ought to be okay. By the way,
and the kingly sum of $350, 50 up front,
50,
waiting on the
50
other
cash.
300 to clear.
Well, I mean, for 85, he'll fucking carve a boy up. So he does not care. By the way, the FBI agent he assaulted, he also stole his car.
Nice.
He assaulted an FBI agent and stole his car, which is fucking crazy. So he's paroled for good behavior. And
how good do you gotta be?
You gotta be he blew all the guards. Like, you have to be the best. He went out and painted the fucking prison.
Yeah.
He scrubs the fucking floors with his toothbrush. He's incredible. Like,
they call him Steel Jaw around here. He never gets a cramp.
We know he's a hard worker, though. That's the thing. So if he goes into prison and if he's in a situation where he has to do well, he does well. Yeah. He's a hard worker. They might have said, oh, look at this kid. He's really trying. But no.
That's the bummer about prison, though. You're not allowed to have shovels.
No, they don't give you any shovels.
Yeah.
So his sister let him live with her and her kids because he's going to be a great influence and, an excellent father figure, I would say. Yeah. We know no word on whether he ever saw his kids again.
Right.
If that woman was smart, she fucking ran away and never looked back at this asshole.
He was only out for 3 months.
Yeah, it's crazy. So by the end of October, he'd gotten a job, bought a car, but the job at the plant, at the sand place, was closed for Christmas, and he was running short on money, and he had some checks out that were going to bounce.
Yeah.
He had taken classes while he was in Leavenworth, and he'd already enrolled for the spring semester at West Ark. Remember we talked about West Ark? That was supposed to start in January 81, but he couldn't pay the tuition, so he didn't do it. Okay. Now, what he says about the check here. All right. He tells them this is a check he received for weed and Quaaludes, like we said. So they said, all right, let's run through your thing. Where have you been? He said, well, on the 5th, the day of the murder at 10:30 a.m., he was at the bank, which we know of by the bank, depositing a $350 check, asking for $50 cash back on Larry Price's account. Then the taxi driver picks up a man matching his description in front of the Osco Drug at the Central Mall. Yeah. And then a short while later, one of the neighbors at the apartment complex sees a man fitting his description get out of a cab in front of Price's apartment.
Right.
That's pretty good. At 8:30 p.m., he made a call, that night. That was half hour after the search had started for everybody. Right. He was in at 8:30, he stopped at a convenience store in Van Buren and called his sister for a ride from there. And she said, why don't you be driving your car? And he said, that's a long story.
Yeah.
And so that was that. Now, January 6th, 1981 at 9 a.m., he goes into the bank. Obviously, they tell him he wants the check back. They said it's going to be till Friday. They write his fucking his number down, and there we go. Now, January 8th, 81, now they're starting to get evidence in, and we'll talk about this. What they think here is that he didn't expect the wife to be home. He expected, basically, Larry would be home. He'd inquire about the car. As we find out, he already had a buyer for the car, a stolen car buyer. He already had somebody that was waiting on this car for him. Yeah. He said, I'm going to go steal this LTD, basically.
So when he showed up in the morning to look at the car and get coffee with Larry, she came out of the bedroom and he was like, fuck.
Because when he showed up, he knocked on the door. They said, let's go for a test drive. Yeah. No problem. They went for a test drive, came back, and now all of a sudden there's a woman in the house.
Oh, no.
So he's like, fuck, he thought he was just going to rob this guy, take the car, maybe kill him, who knows, but whatever. But there's a guy he had already promised him 1,500 cash if he delivered it to him on Monday afternoon, this car.
Yeah.
So he thought that everything would go well, and turns out now there's extra people and he can't figure it out. Mm-hmm. Then a witness comes forward that is the craziest witness of all time.
Who's that?
And you go, well, why the fuck didn't he do this the day this is happening? One of the apartment complex neighbors. And it's because he didn't want to come forward sooner because he had a warrant.
Uh-oh.
So the warrant kept him from calling the cops and telling them what he saw, which was the thing that explains everything pretty much. He first went to his lawyer. By the way, this guy, Davis is his name, not to be confused with Detective Davis, who went looking for Ray Tate. This Davis guy, James Davis, his lawyer who he called to say, should I come forward with this information, will I get arrested, happens to be the same lawyer that has been assigned to Thomas Simmons.
Oh, no.
Small town.
Yeah.
So now they have the same lawyer. So Davis, the neighbor, came to the lawyer, whose name is Settle, that's his name, his last name, and related the story saying that, well, this is what happened, what I saw. And he said, you got to tell the cops. You have to.
And then in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be
really
fucked on cross-examine.
Well, that's the thing. He thought about it, and he said he didn't know whether he could continue to represent Simmons in view of the fact that his other client is now going to be, on the record and all this type of shit. And I have to fucking... I'm going to have to cross-examine him, and he's my client, so that's not right. So they said James Davis, the neighbor across the street, saw a man who appeared to be Officer Tate, Detective Tate, arrive at the Price's apartment complex in a blue unmarked car.
He saw
the man looked briefly at the truck. Holly Gentry's large truck was parked in front there, sideways in front, taking up 2 spaces. Because it's his complex. He can do what he wants.
So the cops didn't like that at first.
So he was looking at the car. Well, he had heard that this guy had one of these cars. So he was just looking, okay, that's that car. So that's what's going on. Cop, presumably Detective Tate, looking at a car, then going into the apartment complex. Shortly after that, a different man, not Detective Tate, made 3 trips from the apartment to the blue car. Tate's car.
To the cop car.
Different guy. Yeah. The first time, it's what he brings out to the car that's the crazy part. The first time, he brought out a man whose hands were tied behind his back and made him get into the car. Someone is watching this and not calling anybody, by the way, for days.
What?
He could have called the cops right then and saved everybody's life. But this fucking guy was like, I got a warrant, Okay.
He saw a detective with his badge on his waist and a gun and all that shit go in the door.
He didn't know it was a cop going in the door. Later on, he assumes that's who it was based on the facts, but he just saw a guy go in with a blue car and go into the thing.
But even still, he saw a man come out handcuffed. Or
I assume sport coat and tie, and then he sees a different man go to the car with a man tied up, a man with his hands tied behind his back. So he brings out him getting in the car. Next, he brought out another man also tied or hands behind the back and put them in the car. Then he brings out a crying woman and forces her into the car.
Oh, my God.
And drives away. And this guy went, well, Price is Right is on, and fucking went back to what he was doing. Well, that ramen only takes 3 minutes. I better really get in there. That's what this guy saw and didn't come forward until the 8th.
That's what warrants will do, huh?
Wow. Holy shit. I wouldn't even think about that for a minute. I'd be like, holy shit.
I would think,
do it anonymously.
I would think maybe this will get this warrant washed away.
I'm going to be a fucking hero. Yeah. You can't send me to jail now. I'm a hero.
Amazing.
Now, by the way, scientific evidence, a hair from Simmons' body was discovered in Officer Tate's shirt. Oh. So they got to be pretty close to each other for it to get inside of his shirt. And another hair from Simmons' body was found on Larry Price's sock. Wow. So that connects him. I mean, this is not DNA, by the way. Right. Back then, this was microscopically similar, consistent with. So we have no idea if it's his hair or not, but it's a hair that matches the deal there. And they found out that semen that they got from Joanna's vagina, which sounds like the worst porn movie of all time.
Yeah,
this matched Simmons' blood type, but not Larry's blood type. So not like they can't, the defense can't say, well, she had sex with her husband that morning.
Yeah.
No, she didn't. Now, they can't match this definitively to Simmons because it's only by blood type, but it's not hers, obviously, and it ain't fucking Larry's.
Yeah.
So, and they have this, it's type O, which is the same as Simmons. So there you go. Now there's blood as well here. There's blood found on Simmons' work pants that he was wearing at work. He just wore his work outfit. Could be matched to the blood types of both Larry and Joanna, because they're both the same type, which is type A, which is about 40% of human beings are type A. But they said that the only conclusion could be formed from the test was that the stain did not come from Simmons, who is type O. So he didn't bleed on his own pants. This is someone else's blood on his pants that matches the same blood type as victims that he has. And speaking of type O, like I said, semen sample is type O, which is her, and which is him. Now, handwriting as well, an FBI handwriting specialist concluded that the handwriting on the check drawn on Larry's account was that of Thomas Simmons as well. He wrote it out. Now, the gun here that they found under the bodies that they believe is the murder weapon, they go, well, where the hell did that come from? They figured out the serial number and figured out it was purchased by a guy named John Neil Bryant in 1976 in Van Buren, which is the town next to us. We've done Van Buren as a town. He said it was either he couldn't remember if it was lost in the woods or stolen from his pickup truck, but he thought it was sometime around 1978 that happened.
We're so loose with weapons.
And he's a neighbor of Simmons, by the way.
Okay.
So he could have lost it in the woods and Simmons could have picked it up. We don't know.
Or stolen out of his truck, either way.
Either way, well, he was in prison during 78. So it makes sense that he lost it in the woods and then he picked it up because he couldn't have been in there in 78 because he was in prison. Now, in other testimony later on, an investigator at the state crime lab said bullets recovered from the victims were officially too mutilated to make an accurate link to the .38, but they said that they could neither verify or rule out the possibility that they came from the recovered gun. But logically, a jury's going to look at that and go, the bodies and the gun, I'll throw them all in one place. It doesn't make sense otherwise. So he is arraigned on 4 counts of kidnapping, 4 counts of murder. Now, they send him for a competency examination, first of all, right away. Okay. He gets sent for a few days and gets returned back to his cell. When he gets returned back to his cell, there was a deputy sheriff who made the transfer, and they asked him, did it go okay? Was he crazy? Was he, drooling and fucking insane? And he said, quote, he didn't say anything and I didn't have anything to say to him. Yeah. That's that. So will he be competent? Well, they expect to receive a written report in a couple of days. However, one local official said that basically he's probably going to be found fit to stand trial. He said, quote, I've never known of them to send one back that had been determined mentally unable to stand trial. So they sent him back to jail, which means he's probably fine.
He's going. Yeah.
He's going. Now, the competency results, Dr. A.F. Rosendale, who's the psychiatrist, wrote that Simmons was found to be without psychosis, but does exhibit antisocial behavior. I would call raping and slitting throats and murdering cops.
Yeah.
Slightly antisocial behavior. Copies of the findings are sent to the prosecutor. The evaluation said he's probably not suffering from mental disease or defect of such a degree as to make him unable to appreciate the criminality of his conduct or to conform his conduct to the requirement of the law. So they literally took that, copy-pasted from a law book of what they have to be and said that's what he is. The findings also concluded that he has mental capacity to understand the proceedings against him and has capacity to assist effectively in his own defense. Therefore, he is considered fit to proceed at this time.
Great.
Very good. So they want to change the venue. The defense. Yeah, because they're like, everybody's heard about this. This is a small town, and he killed a fucking cop and raped a chick. And
not
killed.
Good. Yeah.
It's bad. So, and the thing is, it came on the heels of an unconnected series of murders in the immediate area. There were 4 separate capital murder trials pending in Fort Smith or Van Buren. So this little tiny area had 5 death penalty eligible murders at the same exact time, pretty much.
Fascinating.
Which is, it's got to be the water or something.
Overwhelming.
You can't, that's insane.
You can't try that, right?
That's wild. It has to be environmental or some shit. Like, I don't know what's going on, right? There has to be like I don't know. Maybe it's like Widow's Bay, like it's like the island that's doing it. I don't know what's
just sucking in evil.
The area just like wants to be fed. I don't know what it is. So local citizens here, they say, were appalled by what appeared to be a reign of violence unprecedented in this century, because this is a small area. They don't have this. One editorial on a TV station on January 7th worried that, quote, this most recent in a series of violent killings has raised concern about the quality of life in Western Arkansas. That's what it took to raise your concern about quality of life in Western Arkansas? You didn't look around and go, Jesus, this is shit. What are we?
Trouble. Yeah.
What the fuck are we doing here, guys? We're in a lot of trouble here.
Tornado season just ended too. It's that's a bad time of life too.
And at least nobody was robbing us while a tornado was going on, so that was actually safer for a minute there. So they had a bunch of man on the street interviews. A gun dealer whose business had increased substantially in the last year.
Yeah.
He said that enforcement of the death penalty is, quote, the only way to stop violent crime and make the streets safe again, which we know mathematically is a huge load of horseshit now.
Well, that and selling a shitload of guns.
Yeah, so you should buy more and then shoot people with them and then get the death penalty for all I care. I'm already paid. It's all right.
For all I give a shit.
But look at states with death penalties and compare them to murder rates, and they're the highest ones, all of them. It makes no difference. It doesn't fucking matter. It's just the way it is. So that's not, when someone's killing someone, they're not thinking, ooh, I better not do this because I could get the death penalty.
Right.
Life without, that would have been fine. I'm totally cool with that. But I'm afraid of needles. Like, no one says that. It's not the way it works.
They say, I'm going to get away with it. Every time.
That's what it is. They don't plan on getting
every
caught.
Every time.
Yep. And if they didn't mind getting caught, they didn't give a fuck then. They don't care what happens to them. So a people poll, it was quote unquote, aired on January 9th on KLMN TV and said, quote, this is some of the comments, we ought to have more capital punishment.
Yeah.
Not enough murders are being solved. What does that have to do with capital punishment? Nothing.
We got to kill more people because they're killing a lot of people.
We won't be able to find them unless we can kill them. That doesn't make any sense. The solving and the convicting are two separate things completely. And the murders aren't being solved because you have no scientific shit to go on.
Yeah, but you're not rewarding the
DNA. Phones to. You're
not rewarding the detectives, James, with the ability to just go in there and mow them down.
Yeah, not even a punishment. Just do it. And then they said something should be done about keeping these people in prison, and also judges are too lenient. So just, whatever horse shit they heard from some idiot who never didn't read the paper either while they talked to him, talked over their grits.
I certainly agree that this man should not have been out of prison.
No.
I don't know how in the fuck they did this.
This is what I mean. This is a crazy case.
This feels like they blew it.
Yeah, a Fort Smith Police Department major who was involved in the investigation was quoted in a statewide newspaper saying, quote, we've lost 2 police officers in the last 4 years. If we don't get something done and kill some of the people for killing others, the whole society is doomed. It was a tragic, senseless execution-style killing by a very ruthless individual who had been serving time. Oof. So also, they said that immediately upon his arrest, the news reported extensively of his prior criminal convictions, which pollutes the jury pool. The Arkansas Gazette articles of January 7th through 9th described his extensive criminal record, including his 1960 juvenile arrest, which is where I got all that shit from. I found all that in those papers based on these court documents. So I was like, let me look that up. There we go. Now I got some background. A bad conduct discharge from the Air Force and convictions for larceny, forgery, kidnapping, assault, uttering, as we know.
Sure.
The fact that he was a recent federal parolee emphasized It was emphasized in virtually every article. There's a shitload of them. Several media sources remarked on the parallels between this case and the 1977 of Fort Smith police officer Randy Basnet, who was killed by a former federal inmate about a week after the inmate's release on parole.
God damn.
So to them, it all fits together. Yeah. He said this was a particular sore spot with local citizens who felt the parole system was not effective. The views of the police officers, prosecutors, and others were prominently aired, is what he's saying, to try to get a change of venue. Yeah. The Fort Smith chief of police said the state's handing out paroles left and right.
And that's why we got dead cops, James, because we
dead cops
value
everywhere.
cops' lives more than anybody else's.
That's right. Otherwise, kill everybody else, though. Kill them all. Now, wow, trial comes around.
Yeah.
Okay. He says I'm innocent as a young, brand new baby boy.
Yeah.
And so I just came, like I'm still covered in fucking placenta.
Just a tiny little shovel boy.
That's it, just a tiny little shovel boy. Now, the defense during the opening statements, the public defender, John Settle, who decided to stay on the case, he decided that it wasn't a conflict of interest to have to cross-examine one of his clients in this case, which is crazy. His strategy is he admits that his client was at the Price apartment and stole a check. But he said that's all he did.
That's the extent of his wrongdoing.
That's it. He's not involved in these murders at all. He said, we do not know what happened to these people January 5th, and we do not intend to try to solve this, but we do know Thomas Simmons is not guilty of kidnapping and murdering these people. Well, you better fucking solve it, because you're in an OJ situation where it's like, we're all going to think you do it unless it's solved a different way. It's just the way it is. So, and then they talk about him not thinking he's a suspect as well. They said, when the cops brought him in, it's bullshit that they didn't think he was a suspect. Yeah. That's ridiculous. Yeah. They said their client has always been a suspect and was, by technical definition, under arrest from the time they placed him in the squad car. Mm-hmm. So, quoting from a statute book, the public defender stated that a person under arrest at the time he is placed under restraint or submits to custody. So, but they're saying, no, we asked him to come to the station and he voluntarily came down. Mm-hmm. We were just chit-chatting.
But did they put him in cuffs because he's saying he was in restraints?
No. They said is placed under restraint or submits to custody.
Got it. Okay.
So they're saying submitting to custody. The prosecution says submitting to custody doesn't mean being asked to go somewhere voluntarily and you going. That's not them saying you have to come. Let's go. That's custody. Yeah. So he also added that the Fort Smith officers who detained him had no jurisdiction in any of the places they were in. Where the check was tendered, Van Buren or Jenny Lind, which is a town, Jenny Lind. Yeah. Okay. So the witnesses, they bring up old James Davis there, the guy whose lawyer has a conflict of interest. He said he then picked out Thomas Simmons and said, that's the guy I saw lead three persons from the apartment to the car. Why'd you wait to report it? He said, well, I had criminal charges against me and a warrant. You know how it is,
I'm dumb.
So I'm dumb. On cross-examination, by the way, because he's a prosecution witness. Now, his own lawyer's got to come up and rip him a new asshole.
Yeah.
So on cross-examination, he tries to discredit Davis's memory of the incident by pointing to several discrepancies between his courtroom testimony and earlier sworn statements. Mm-hmm. The cross-examination, by the way, he was really aggressive on this cross-examination. The cross-examination sparked repeated objections from the prosecution and numerous sidebar conferences to figure out, what line of questioning they can do. They have another ID witness, Ernie Kramers, who identified Simmons as the man he observed with Larry Price on January 5th looking at the car. The defense challenged the accuracy of Kramer's identification due to the brevity of his observation of the two men. But the car is pretty clear. You're going to see that and see the two guys and two and two. So the medical examiner does a mock recreation of the scene by basically throwing a coat over the prosecutor's shoulders and pulling it up over his head to show him how these people were taken and then shot. And then traced the path of the bullet on his that way too.
Shit.
Which the juries fucking love those demonstrations. They love those things. It makes everything so much clearer. Under cross-examination, the medical examiner stated that based on the evidence, proof positive of a rape is not possible, but the fact that she has some other person's semen in her and had looped her belt just fine and probably put her pantyhose on correctly before she was kidnapped, we have to assume the kidnapper did this. So that's just logic. Then there's a crazy fucking delay in the trial.
Why?
The jury is waiting for his sister. Thomas's sister is going to testify.
The one that let him stay with her.
The ones who stay, exactly, the one who's staying with him. And apparently it's her day to testify. She never takes the stand because she collapsed at the foot of the stairs at her house, or had to collapse at the foot of the stairs from the Crawford County Courthouse when she arrived.
Yeah.
And then her doctor said she would not be able to return that afternoon.
Oh.
So the prosecutor said, well, she'll be there on Friday because she failed to appear. Yeah. So they said that they sent the sheriff to go get her. And when he arrived at her house, she wasn't home. So after that information was relayed back to the courthouse, there was a conference called between everybody where it was revealed that she was at the home of a family friend. When the sheriff gets to the family friend's house to take her to court, she wouldn't go. She refuses to go. The sheriff said he was greeted by her brother, Ron, who just refused to allow, Ron Simmons, by the way, like the old wrestler, first black heavyweight champion in NWA history. Ron Simmons, who flatly refused to allow his sister to go to the courthouse due to her medical condition. He said, she's in the house, and to get her, you better bring a stretcher.
What does she
Not
have?
coming.
She has a heart condition or something?
We have no idea. She just collapsed
Agoraphobia?
due to her medical condition.
Yeah.
She has, I don't want to testify against my brotheritis, I think is what it is.
She's allergic to this.
Yeah. According to Ball here, the detective, Ron Simmons then threatened to sue both him and the others in his car if any further action is taken. Who you got in there with you? I'll sue them too.
Okay. Anybody in the car.
Wow. So the sister had been expected to take the stand and tell of a collect, or sister-in-law this is, and tell of a collect phone call she received that night. So it is her sister, sorry, the night of the murders, to ask for a ride home from the convenience store. The call came from a location close to where Ray Tate's car was found. They came up with a solution, which is the state would simply read a series of facts that all the attorneys could agree on. She's going to say this and this. Do you both stipulate to that? Fine. Then just put it in the fucking record and that's
she shouldn't have to testify if we all agree to it.
If we all agree to we'll take a little bit off the edges that someone might have objected to and take the core of it and just put it in. Okay. That's it. They said if they would have not stipulated to the facts, then she would have had to testify. Now, closing arguments, the defense attorney tells the jurors, quote, the only conclusion you can draw from this testimony was that it is a fabrication, meaning the James Davis testimony where he saw him leading people to the car. The only conclusion you can draw from his testimony is that it was a fabrication from beginning to end. It was not a matter of being mistaken. James Davis just flat out lied.
Really?
That's his lawyer saying that.
Okay.
Also, a newspaper account of both closings says, quote, both prosecutor Ron Fields and public defender John Settle admitted in their summations that many of the bizarre circumstances surrounding the murders, often termed as the most sensational in Northwest Arkansas history, are still unexplained. Said basically, there's a lot of shit we don't know, but we're pretty sure about A, B, and C.
Okay.
So the verdict comes in, it is 7-man, 5-woman jury. That's what we got going on here. Less than 3 hours of deliberation.
Is this 3 charges of murder? Or
this
4?
is 4 murders, kidnapping,
this
you name
bad.
it. Oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
Oh, this is death penalty is on the table
for
in this case.
Sure.
Absolutely, killed a cop and raped a chick raped a woman in the course of killing her, and then robbed people while he killed them too. This is every aggravator you can find
on parole.
While on parole, wanton, horrible shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking aggravators based on it's
while
crazy.
On parole for 65 years worth of charges.
Yeah.
This is bad.
that dude should not have been jaywalking.
No.
I mean, honestly, he should have been fucking keeping it between the lines, 10-2 the whole time. So the verdict comes in, less than 3 hours of deliberation, and he's found guilty of every goddamn thing possible that you can imagine. Boy. Just guilty of everything. So now the sentencing comes around, and like I said, death penalty is here.
Firmly square.
During this death penalty thing here, prosecution's clothing. Their clothing
was beautiful.
Their clothing, they were dressed immaculately, Jimmy. The ties on these men, fabulous.
D&G.
So, the best. Well, one prefers Gucci. He's a little flashier. Following the return of the guilty verdict here, that's when the jury was immediately pressed to return and, debate about the sentence. Yeah. So, in the arguments, the prosecutor said Simmons sealed his own fate when he committed the crimes. He said he's the one who executed himself out in that field in Kibler and in that creek in Clear Creek.
Oh.
Yeah, he executed himself. So, does he have anything to say for himself?
Is he going to talk?
He is going to talk. He stood there and gave a poker face when the judge said, what do you want to say? And he said, quote, "On January 8th, I stood in this courtroom and said I was not guilty. And I repeat now, I am not guilty."
Sir.
That's what he said when he's been found guilty of murdering a cop in cold blood on duty and
quadruple.
Raping and killing a woman and anally too. Throw that in for a little fucking, just a little extra.
For some extra fuck Jesus
stank on
stuff.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah. And 2 other men who he was robbing. So this is
100% anti-societal behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after an hour and a half of deliberation, which is barely enough time to fill out the paperwork for this such type of thing here, the jury comes back and says, "You, sir, may fuck off. Death by electrocution."
Electric chair.
Electric chair for you.
Yeah.
And then, so he's got 4 of those, 4 death sentences, and then an additional this and an additional that, and years tacked onto this, and you name it. I mean, it's a lot.
He won't live that long.
So, we'll talk about it. So the reactions here from the victims' families, one of them said here, "We're just so relieved," while they were crying and all that kind of thing. And Mrs. Price, this is Larry's mother, said, "They treat the defendant like a person, but what about the victim? We should have, we would have loved to have gotten up and told that jury about our kids. We had such dreams and aspirations for those kids. They would have been such an asset to our society." She said that the victim seemed almost unimportant to the case, which isn't really true. It's just
the reason we're here.
Yeah, exactly. We're just concentrating on what are we going to do with this guy, so it's got to kind of be about him. A close friend to the Gentry family, who admitted he wrestled with the decision to even attend the trial, said he'd never be the same after the loss of Holly Gentry. Yeah. He said, "It affects you more than you realize it will. It changes your priorities." Yeah. And then he talks about the Lord a whole bunch. I'll skip that. Then Simmons leaves the court and he's led to the car to be taken to prison, right?
Yeah.
Somehow, now they take them like out through a private thing and they put them at the Sally Port there. They do all that. Yeah. Back then, they just take them out the front door of the court to like the parking lot, and all the press would be around them and they would
walk down
let them
these
talk.
Super steep steps.
Stone too. Yeah. Don't trip over all those cords or anything. All those
with
camera cords they used to have.
Cuffed behind your back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They said Simmons appeared to be in good spirits as he was led from the Sebastian County Jail, shackled in handcuffs and leg irons for his transfer to death row.
And leg irons.
Oh, and leg irons. Oh,
shallow
he's a death row
steps.
prisoner. Oh, very shallow. He vowed he would return to face a new trial as the officials ready. He said, this will get overturned and I'm going to have a new trial soon, so don't worry about it. Right. He said, this is during a little press conference out in the parking lot he had, that he was confident that his conviction would be reversed and he would be granted a new trial.
Wow.
He said, "We'll have to do it all over again. I'll be back."
Okay.
Yep. He praised his defense attorneys, which that'll come up later in appeals.
Oh.
Well, they won't be so great then.
Yeah.
But at the time, he praised them. He said, "John Settle and Garner Taylor," he said, "I am satisfied with the effort of my attorneys. I think they did a magnificent job."
Really?
Which will then be,
Piss poor.
piss poor, ineffective assistance of counsel in a future appeal. Simmons said he did not regret his decision not to take the stand in his own defense when asked about it, because speculation kept mounting, but he said the final decision was reached jointly by him and his attorneys. They asked him, do you think you got a fair trial in Crawford County? And he says, absolutely not. No way.
No.
He said the prosecution was allowed to introduce evidence in their case against him that would be struck, that should have been struck from the trial, and asked what he believed to be the most damaging evidence introduced about him, because there's so much. I mean, what one piece was the crux? He said, quote, I hesitate to call it evidence, but the most damaging thing was the obviously perjured testimony of the state's key witness.
The eyewitness.
Which is James Davis.
The guy that saw me.
Meanwhile, there's like 5 other people, the cab driver, the other one who saw him going in and out. This is just the guy who happened to watch him walk people out. I mean, we didn't need him to put this together of what happened, So, because the crazy thing is, I guess the detective walked into the apartment, I assume. He probably hid and then popped out with a gun, and that's how he subdued the detective, is all I can imagine. There's no other way.
You have to, yeah.
There's no other way.
The cop had like his flashlight out and he was looking around.
Yeah, probably. He probably popped out from behind a door, put a gun to his head and said, fucking stand still, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Took his gun from him and whatever. And we don't know what he did with his badge, his gun, any of that shit. None of it. We have no idea. Never recovered. He later said he was referring to James Davis. And here is an interview with what I like to call a pompous douche of a juror.
Yeah.
This guy, he says he wouldn't take the money that jury duty pays. Just it's his civic duty. I won't even take that. It was like a $53 check for like 2 weeks.
I don't even cash it.
Won't even take it. He said, I returned it to them because I'm that good of a citizen.
Yeah.
Fucking shut up and take your $50 and take your goddamn wife out to dinner, you asshole. What a fucking asshole. This guy, Robert Roberts, he never had a chance.
Yep. His
parents are so stupid they forgot their last name was already that name.
Well, they're going to call him Bob.
Fucking named him that. He said he was so proud to do his civic duty and sit on one of the juries here. He said he was so proud. He's a career military man. He refused to accept the $52.50 he received for his 6 days of service on the panel. Wow. He said his gesture of returning the check was not meant to be significant. It's merely the thing to do. He said, it was my civic duty.
Yeah.
No. We have a thing. You show up, we give you way less money than you deserve, and you take it, and that's your civic. The fact that you show up for $52 fucking for 6 days, that's your civic duty.
You got $1 an hour, you fucking moron.
Yeah. You're already putting out. There's no need for this shit. So he said the recently retired Crawford County man said he sat on the jury panel and viewed the evidence in the murder case and was overcome by the greatness of the American judicial system. Oh, it never fucks up. Yeah.
I was overcome by how great this is.
I was just overcome. Then an eagle flew through the room and that was pretty distracting. You know how it is, right?
I cried. One eye, stripes of tears. The other one, stars of tears.
Yeah. I just took the flag from the corner of the courtroom and wrapped it around myself. That's all I did.
Until I realized that was an abomination.
He said, I think our system is the greatest in the world. We're number one.
Oh, God.
That's ballsy, especially in 1981 to say that. We were a disaster as a country by then. A fucking mess.
Is that Reagan's fault?
That was everybody's fault from fucking 68 on, from Nixon
he was
on.
the guy that was taking the rap then, though, right?
No, they were, the way I want to get into it because it's politics and people will complain, but he made it now it's all different. And everyone went, oh, now it's all different. It was the same shit.
Still can't afford anything and there's no gas.
Economy was shit till 85.
Yeah.
And then it was good for a year and a half. And then the market fucking crashed and we had so that's what trickled. In a year and a half, you'll be good. And then it'll be worse than it was before. Great job. Did such a bad job that they elected a fucking governor of Arkansas to be the president. That's how bad of a job for 12 years they did with the economy. Because they were like, this is so fucked up, that guy will fix
Arkansas can fix it.
A dude from Arkansas who bangs his wife's hairdresser, that guy will fix it. They didn't care.
But he's so good at the sax.
Excellent. So this guy said after 21 years of service in the Army, from which he was a retired first sergeant, he said his patriotic stirrings are there. Yeah. He said, I don't know, back when I was a child, it was a more automatic thing. You know, the old flag and Star-Spangled Banner bit.
Bit?
But he's bit. I don't know what that, you know, the old soft shoe, you know, flag and fucking banner shit.
That old chestnut that made the greatest country on the planet, evidently, to you.
He said that the Simmons case was the first he had ever heard as a juror, and he could not help but be in awe of the proceedings. He's in awe a lot, overcome by greatness, in awe of a courtroom.
Yeah.
You're in awe of a bunch of civil servants doing their job. This is what you're in awe of?
I was in awe that when I went into court that we have a courtroom that looks like that. My taxes are being pissed away on shitloads of wood.
Tons of wood and tons of fucking fancy chairs.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
For judges and shit. And they feed those jurors really well, too. I'd love to know what a state pays for in jury lunches. It's obscene what they're fucking paying in jury lunches, but you got to feed them.
Yeah.
He said, we all learned. It was an education. He said that his duty was not an easy one, deciding the fate of another person, but it needed to be done. He said it was a difficult decision, but when the evidence points to the defendant, there's nothing else to do. He said during his own mental deliberations, there was nothing specific which tipped the balance to a guilty verdict. He said, I can't think of any one thing. There was just so many that pointed to his guilt. He said he sat and listened to the parade of evidence about the murders, and the other jurors were conscious of being under the watchful eye of the defendant. Mm-hmm. This is from the article. With fingertips pressed together, Simmons frequently peered emotionless into the jury panel as the testimony was presented, possibly checking reactions. Yeah, he's seeing how they're reacting. But the jury finds it extremely unsettling when the defendant just stares at them, especially if they're up for quadruple murder. Yeah.
Staring at him is one thing. Emotionless is an entire different face.
When you're being accused of being a terrifying, emotionless killer, and then you're standing there like this.
It's just emotionless. What does emotionless look like apart from just blank-faced and horrifying?
It has to be. Fucking dead-eyed. So... yeah, they said the emotional issue of sentencing another person to die did not cause any inner conflict that he might have imagined it would have. He explained that the panel was locked away for deliberation. Some discussion did arise over the often painful decision. He said, we discussed it, but it's really not a decision the jury makes. It's the law, and we're just following the steps.
Oh, that's how he does it guilt-free.
One way to do it guilt-free. Okay. I didn't really kill a guy, you just...
The law said I had to.
When you pull a trigger, then physics takes over. It's not really you. You didn't kill them. The bullet killed them. It was just a. Yeah,
the law was written and said you have to kill him. All right, let's do it.
Now, this is also in reaction, like I said, to other local death penalty cases in 81 that I'll go over real quick. They said there was 5 men facing capital murder charges in 81. But some of them from older crimes. Yeah. Eugene Wallace Perry and 23-year-old Richard Philip Anderson were in custody on January 1st, 81, awaiting trial on 2 counts of capital murder in the deaths of Kenneth Staton and 24-year-old Suzanne Staton Ware, who were discovered in a workroom at Staton's jewelry store in Van Buren on September 10th, 1980. A jury convicted Perry of capital murder and sentenced him to death. Anderson was convicted of a lesser charge and sentenced to life. December 10th, 1980, Wilburn Anthony Henderson was arrested for capital murder in the November 26th, 80 fatal shooting of a 50-year-old named Willa Dean O'Neill at a used furniture store in Fort Smith that she operates with her husband. What are you getting from a used furniture store?
I guess a little bit of cash, right?
I mean, but I bet a lot of people pay in checks in 1980 with that because it's, you know what I mean? What are you getting? And I'll take this fucking old love seat too, throw it on my, what the fuck do you want?
After a certain time, there's not really a lot of cash, right?
No, there isn't. I mean, in 80, people had a lot of cash, but for bigger items, they wrote checks, like furniture. You didn't pay for furniture in cash. You wrote checks back then. People used to do weekly grocery shopping, pay with a check.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
That was my mother always did that. Also, she didn't have any money. That also helped. Yeah. I have these.
The check because in 3 days, we're going to have money in that account.
That's fine. Either way, I have these and no food. So here you go. There you go. Henderson's first trial ended in a mistrial. Then a jury convicted him and sentenced him to death, and a U.S. District Judge court overturned his conviction and sentence, citing ineffective counsel. Okay. Henderson was retried and convicted, sentenced to death a second time, and he was executed, actually, in July 8th of 98. Marion Albert Mad Dog Pruitt. Well, Mad Dog, that's not one you want to go into court with.
Nope.
The defendant, Mad Dog, that'll get you every time. That's like, I always feel bad. Not that I don't feel bad, but it's always odd when, like, you know, Young Thug's on trial. Yeah. Gee, I wonder what the jurors are going to think of Young Thug. That's not going to go over well. Mad Dog, it just never works out well when they bring your professional name, in this case, in there. It's all wrong.
Tupac's his real name, but he was very well known for some words that he'd said.
For sure. I don't think Snoop Doggy Dogg helped himself much there either, but at least it didn't have the words thug or killer or... What do you think when C Murder went up for his charges? What was the jury thinking about?
He's not around, so there's an answer.
There's your answer. So Mad Dog was charged with capital murder in 81 for the abduction and murder of 30-year-old Bobby Jean Rome Robinson, who he kidnapped from a convenience store, and he remained at large, they said somehow. Pruitt, by the way, prior to this killing, had killed his wife, then kidnapped and killed a bank teller in Mississippi. And after he killed Robertson and fled Fort Smith, he killed 2 more men in Colorado.
God dang.
Never been a more apt nickname than Mad Dog. He was returned to Arkansas in 82 after he was sentenced to death in Mississippi and 2 consecutive life sentences in Colorado. And then in 82, he was convicted and sentenced to death in Robertson's murder in Arkansas. And he was also sentenced to life in New Mexico for the murder of his wife.
Who gets to kill him with all of that?
That's what I mean. It's they got to... You know what I mean? They're doing
for this shit.
Yeah. If you don't know, I'm rock, paper, scissors to Jimmy. What do you think here? They're
doing a coin flip tournament, for Christ's sake. A bracket.
50-yard line. They're going to need a bracket for all the states. May 82 was an attempt to reduce his sentence. Public defender John Settle's bid to reduce the penalty and charges facing Thomas Winford was rejected Monday during court hearings. Circuit Court Judge John Holland of Fort Smith denied motions asking the capital murder charges against Simmons be reduced to first-degree murder and the death penalty be lowered to life imprisonment. So he's Settle maintained the capital murder charge, carrying with it the maximum penalty of death by electrocution, should be reduced because, quote, there is no provision for automatic appeal within Arkansas state statutes. I think federal law fixed that later where you had to. The public defender added, without an automatic appeal, there's no provision to guarantee due process of law, which is true.
Sure.
The prosecuting attorney said, though, the U.S. Supreme Court has reviewed Arkansas state statutes several times and has found them has not found them to be unconstitutional. Mm-hmm. They said that the same argument they echoed when Settle asked the possible penalty be reduced. Settle claimed electrocution was cruel, barbaric, and painful punishment, and they said, well, the Supreme Court says it's great. So
Louisiana
no worries.
Is fucking doing
a mess.
They're paying a real high electric bill.
Oh, fuck yeah. They're going to put in where you could choose to get like if you get, they're going to make lethal injection the main thing.
Option,
but then if you got sentenced to electrocution, then you get to choose.
Okay.
Which is fun. I like that. How do you want to die? I don't know.
Real Sophie's choice.
It's a tough one. Let me think about it for about, 30 years or so. What do you say?
I'll consider this over 3 squares over the next several.
Over several decades, hopefully. So he said that the Settle alleges that the kidnappings in Sebastian County are closely linked to the alleged murders in Crawford County, and therefore to try his client on both would constitute double jeopardy. He said it is our contention that the kidnapping is included in the Arkansas capital murder statute. Now, the prosecutor countered that the defense argument of double jeopardy, trying a guy twice for the same thing, is unfounded. He said, I don't think you can argue double jeopardy until you've been in jeopardy once, he said. Fields explained that he would need to have been found guilty of one of the offenses before the motion could be valid. Okay. The defense is also asking for $130 in costs, and that was denied.
We'd also like $130.
Well, the costs are one of the TV stations refused to turn over material without paying for copying costs.
Oh, so we had to pay to get the okay.
So they're like, well, "Can I have that?" And they said, "No, we're not."
You can
paying
pay one
for
of
that.
our editors to make you a copy, but you can't have this one.
It's just for paper because he wanted all the shit for all the interviews they did with all the people to say that the change of venue should have been done.
Okay.
So they tell him to keep fucking off. 83, he appeals to the Supreme Court,
The big one.
the Arkansas Supreme Court. Anyway, which is, three guys named Bubba.
Yeah.
And
warming their hands around a tire fire.
well, warming their I was going to go all sitting on toilets that aren't hooked up to anything. That's just the chairs they use.
Yeah, that's their thrones. They're like, these are called thrones.
Yeah, that's what they call them.
They've been calling it that since I was a boy, since I was a little shovel boy.
Since they started getting them around these parts, honestly.
Warm your hands on the tire fire.
So the lawyer here, public defender John Settle, filed a 715-page petition. Wow, that is a long fucking thing. With the Arkansas Supreme Court appealing the death sentence. Settle said in an interview that he filed the petition in Little Rock, and he said it took 2 weeks to write and raised 22 legal points. There's 22 points here. 5 points relate to the admissibility of evidence. The prosecution did not unfairly withhold evidence merely because the deputy sheriff who received the telephone call about the discovery of Larry Price's body at first protected the caller's request for anonymity, but disclosed the caller's identity at the trial after the caller had been given permission. Yeah. Okay, so they ended up finding out then. There's no indication that the officer acted in bad faith, that he had disclosed the name to the prosecutor, or that the defense was handicapped by not knowing earlier the identity of the caller. Yeah. They also, point 10, the court correctly refused to admit proof that some of Simmons' relatives had blood type A, which was the Price's type and the type found on his trousers. So they're trying to say there's no proof that relative's blood could have gotten on his trousers. If he said, hey, my sister Marcia got hit in the nose with a football and shot over and bled all over me, that would be one thing, but he never said that. He just goes, well, I mean, I have family members with type A. They could have bled on me.
Okay.
Might have been them with fresh blood on my legs.
My cousin uses supers. You never know.
You never know. It's possible. Any possible gaps in the chain of custody of blood samples were inconsequential, and there was no substantial indication of tampering. Yeah. During the penalty stage of the two-step trial, the court correctly refused to allow the defense to introduce pictures of a gas chamber, a gallows, and an electric chair, none of which can be regarded as a mitigating circumstance. Right. They're trying to appeal. We should have let them show the jury how bad that
show them what it does? They don't care.
Yeah. But they know. Yeah. They like it. They'd be like, good. That's why they're doing this.
Stars and Stripes, babe. They were really about it.
Yeah. Whether to send the jury, there's also a point of whether to send the jury to the scene of the Price's apartment to determine how well the witness Davis could have seen the three victims being taken to the car at some imprecise time after sunset was a matter addressed to the trial judge's discretion. So there's no abuse there. The court was right in submitting to the jury the various charges of capital murder that we have already seen, that there was substantial evidence to support each verdict. And points 21 and 22, the court refused to instruct the jury that it had to presume if Simmons were sentenced to life imprisonment without parole, he would spend the rest of his life in prison, and refused to rule that if the defense counsel made such an argument to the jury, the prosecutor should be prohibited from mentioning it in reply, the possibility of executive clemency. Okay. That's what okay. So the high court denies the stay. Okay. Now, problem is the execution is stayed by a federal court. Come in and supersede Arkansas. So they get put on that. So the stay was scheduled, the execution was scheduled like soon, like it was coming. And so they said, this is from the Times Record, the stay of Friday's scheduled execution of Thomas Winford Simmons is one example of why the public has become disillusioned with the judicial system. That's what the prosecutor of the case said. The federal judge granted a stay of execution for Simmons. The prosecutor said, it is this type of action routinely granted without giving the state a chance to be heard that has caused the disillusionment of the public with the judicial system. I think it is time for the federal judiciary to start executing some responsibility and not just its authority. State juries' opinions and state Supreme Court opinions should not be lightly dismissed, as it seems to be the rule for the past several years. That's because you're in fucking Arkansas. And we proved over time that you fucking people in certain states weren't fair to a lot of people. Yeah. That's why we have to do that. And if you didn't do that, you're the ones did it to yourself, is what I'm saying. Just like you said about him, the murder. You made it, so it has to be that way. It has to be. You can't trust 50 individual states to all be fair at the same time. You can't trust that. Got to have a standard. So Simmons' request for a stay was denied by the Arkansas Supreme Court, but then, granted here. So there's a guy named Ron Heller who's his new lawyer. He said he'd just become Simmons' lawyer like a week ago and hadn't been Simmons' lawyer long enough to prepare anything. He argued that the penalty was too severe and that it demonstrated passion and prejudice, and the state Supreme Court said it knew of no other case involving multiple murders so cold-blooded, brutal, or lacking any trace of humanity. That's the Supreme Court's, the state Supreme Court. There is a letter to the editor now, and there people, this pretty much reflects the public sentiment. Quote, "No justice for victims" is the title of it.
Oh.
The Arkansas State Supreme Court was quoted as saying that it knew of no other case involving multiple murders so cold-blooded, so brutal, so lacking in any trace of humanity as those committed by Thomas Winford Simmons. The state Supreme Court issued Simmons a stay so that his conviction could be appealed by the Arkansas Supreme Court and the U.S. Supreme Court. The appeal has been found to be without merit, and the Supreme Court refused to issue a second stay, finding no just cause to do so. Your sympathy and compassion for this barbaric criminal is overwhelming. This is to the newspaper because they might have written an article that they didn't like. Are you fully aware of the facts of these murders? Would pictures of these 4 innocent victims' bodies lying in a hole with their limbs hanging over a tire covering the hole be proof to you of just how heinous these crimes were? Convince you that Simmons does not deserve the consideration you've given him? He did not give his victims a stay of execution, nor did the victims have the opportunity to argue that their penalty was too severe and that it demonstrated passion and prejudice. Such as Simmons is now declaring, no, these 4 God-fearing people had absolutely no choice. Holly Gentry happened to be a very dear friend of mine. Holly, nor any of the other 3 victims deserve this ill treatment. See, this is personal.
You can't write if you knew him.
It's personal. Yeah, much less suffer the brutal, barbaric treatment at the hands and whims of Thomas Winford Simmons. He is no better than a mad dog. But that nickname's unfortunately already taken.
So taken.
Very unfortunate, because he would have been perfect.
Several states, Mad Dog. It's not. Yeah, you can't get it.
He's national, man. It's just like when you're first starting out and you're an opener comic and you hear some fucking famous comedian do a joke that you do and you know you did it first. It's theirs now because people. He's been
telling it from the Mississippi to the Colorado. You're in trouble.
Yep. Even if I did it first, fucked. Nothing. He said, it appears that you and the other bleeding hearts must feel our trial judges in Arkansas Supreme Court are incompetent. I mean, probably, but that's a separate issue. So you issued the stay for this, quote, animal. The consideration you have given Simmons and overruling the state Supreme Court appears that you are condoning multiple murder. Holly, as well as Detective, they misspelled Tate. A detective whose name is so important to me that I don't even fucking take the time to make sure it's correct.
How do you spell it?
P-A-T-E. Pate.
Nice. Pate.
Pate. Detective Pate.
At least they didn't call him Tit.
Yeah. His name is Tate. Let's give him the respect he deserves and call him his fucking name and not Pate. Serve the Lord Jesus Christ. That doesn't matter in court, bitch. Sorry. Yeah. That doesn't matter. That matters to you in your house. Outside those doors, that's what it matters. Nothing. Ugats.
Stop making these 4 murders about you. You weren't even there.
That's what it is. He's a fucking animal who is a dangerous person who killed these people for no fucking reason. That's enough. Don't bring up the Lord and everything up. That's plenty.
Doesn't even need to be your friend. I don't know these people and I hate him.
That's what I'm saying. He's a fucking scumbag. I'm sure they are in heaven this day. However, this does not lessen the pain and suffering their families are going through. Will justice ever be served? With your compassion for murderers and rulings such as Judge G. Thomas Eisels on death-qualified juries, we have only a system serving the criminal. Horseshit. Yeah. Criminal justice, there's certainly no justice for the victims. And it's signed Marilyn Moore, Justice for Crime Victims, Fort Smith. God, I hope you're dead by now. You sound like a fucking insufferable asshole. Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, whatever, but you know what I mean? Like, to use this exaggerated terminology and you don't care about this, you only care about that. All they talk about in court is the fucking victims, as they should. Yeah. They never talk, but the poor defendant. That only comes up in sentencing mitigation. He has one little slice where he gets to go, oh, poor me, and then they never listen to him. So who cares? What's the difference?
And she was probably named after that godless Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, godless. Godless. Oh, boy. So 1986, appeal about not changing venues. Mm-hmm. He has one of those here. They moved for the change of venue. They go over all the different people's statements and quotes and all that, and they say, no, thank you, back there again. So he's denied that. 1988, the Eighth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ordered a federal judge to determine whether Thomas Winford Simmons was ineffectively represented by his former attorneys. Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's get into this shit. They said the same public defenders who represented Simmons therefore cross-examined principal witness James Davis had been representing Davis on a criminal charge of his own when Davis offered them his testimony. So that's what we're talking about. Now, the stuff about James Davis, they said Davis was not unknown to settle at the time of Simmons' trial. This is right from the court document. August 5th through 19th, 81, that's when the trial is. On December 30th, 80, Settle had been appointed to represent Davis on a felony charge of theft by deception. At the time he was appointed in municipal court, Settle talked to Davis for about 2 minutes. In a second conversation occurring between December 30th and January 8th, sometime in there, Settle learned about Davis's record as a Vietnam veteran and that he was taking lithium. He may have learned that Davis had a service-connected discharge, but he did not recall obtaining this information from him. Cross-examination of Davis at the trial, Settle questioned Davis about his court-martial in Vietnam, but did not recall how he obtained that information. So they said he also cross-examined Davis about a conviction in Memphis. Settle said he's almost sure he obtained this information through discovery, not from knowing it because he's his client. He also had an FBI rap sheet on Davis. This could well have been the source of information concerning the Vietnam court-martial. Settle does not recall whether he knew about Davis's treatment in the VA hospital in Fayetteville. Okay. So they said the main criticism that is leveled at Settle is his failure to bring out the fact that Davis was taking lithium and that he was being treated for depression by the VA on an outpatient basis. Lithium is a widely used drug to counter manic depressive back in the day. So the problem is, I think here is, I don't think unless that was in discovery, it's not something he can know. He can't just know it because he knows the guy and bring it up.
Okay.
That wouldn't be fair. It has to be something that came in through discovery.
He's saying, though, it definitely came from discovery, not from knowing him.
He's saying some of the stuff, the Vietnam stuff, the other stuff, but they're saying, Simmons is saying, look, you knew this shit about this guy. It was up to you to bring it all up to try to get me out of jail. And he's like, well, it wasn't really fair. So it's not really fair that he was cross-examining this guy is what's not fair. So they said after all that, this is an examination of Davis where they said, I see no signs of schizophrenia. He smiles. He has full range of affect. He senses his behavior as sociopathic and is a self-reflective, no hallucinations or delusions. He may have been given the diagnosis in a spell of temporary fury sometime. The overwhelming impression is of an emotionally discontrolled person of dull, normal IQ who avoids responsibility for his decisions and compounds his own circumstances by running or going into temper explosions. Will use lithium to start. Now, the other thing here, so they said Settle should have never been a part of this case in one way or the other. Then his second lawyer didn't bring that up in the last filing when they were appealing, didn't bring up this overlap of client issue about the first lawyer. And you know why he didn't do that? Why? Because he's a fucking drunk. That's why.
Oh, is he?
That's what they say.
He's an alcoholic.
This is Heller, Mr. Heller. And they said that he was a drunk. A judge, though, said, I find that Mr. Heller was not suffering from alcoholism and his faculties were not impaired when he made the decision regarding the overlap issue and filed his brief on June of 1986 and argued the case in November 86. He surrendered his license to practice law in November 87, a year after he was this guy's attorney. He filed an affidavit and testified that during the previous year he had problems with alcoholism. Yeah. The problem would have thus arisen 11 months after he filed his appeal and 5 months after he filed his brief in the Court of Appeals. That would be if you take him at his word of when he started drinking and didn't drink before, which I wouldn't say that probably. The case was argued in November 86. Mr. Heller testified he never did enter a courtroom when his faculties were impaired. Didn't get drunk and come into court. So he's got one on F. Lee Bailey, who drank his lunch. So they said that, isn't it true or couldn't it be correct that the 12-month period prior to November 87 is just when you began to recognize the problems and that you'd actually had problems sometime prior to that? And the lawyer says, I can't say exactly. I don't think in November 86 I realized I was having that much of a problem. In retrospect, in November of 87 when I surrendered my license, I certainly could see that over the last 12 months there had been a pattern, not meeting my overhead obligations and things like that were certainly outward objective symbols of the problems. So that's what he said. Now, they said denied, by the way. Go fuck yourself. Now, June of 1990, Arkansas hasn't been executing people, but now they're ready to start executing people again.
Yeah.
So they're saying, when is he going to fucking die, basically? They executed Ronald Gene Simmons, no relation, also not the Ron Simmons from the apartment that his sister, at his sister's house over
and
there.
Not Gene
different
Simmons,
Ron Simmons. And not Gene Simmons. We covered Ronald Gene Simmons, I'm pretty sure. Think we did. He killed a bunch of people. He killed 16 people, including 14 family members. We did that guy, I think. God. Yeah. So there's several people up for this. There's a list of 32 men on death row in Arkansas, and they're basically going to execute them in order of how long they've been on death row, the crimes they were sentenced to death, and the status of their appeals. September 1990 is the final appeal.
Here we go.
U.S. 8th Circuit Court of Appeals denies him in September 90, moving him to the front of the line for the execution table. He
got a fast pass.
Hold on, baby. This is no. Really, I got no. I've been had my place held in line. It's good. This is my spot.
Yeah,
I fast passed around all you bitches. The Arkansas Assistant Attorney General said if the U.S. Supreme Court refused to intervene, Simmons could be executed by mid-January 91. So he is scheduled for execution mid-January 1991.
Yeah.
They say that, by the way, there's going to be it can be lethal injection, it can be electrocution.
Yeah.
They have a backup executioner, by the way.
No shit. Just in case this guy gets a stomach flu.
Heart attack, trips and falls. The backup is a precautionary step taken in case the appointed executioner cannot able to carry out the execution. At the executioner and his backup both will be in a small control room located to the right of the inmate. A small window will allow the executioner to view the inmate. The identity of the two people will be kept secret. Okay, so that's how they do this here. They have media present. They have people coming. They said they don't anticipate any family members of either the inmate or the victims being present for the execution.
Is that right?
That people used to never go for that. Now it's like, I want to see them. And so people have gotten wacky, man. People are fucking sick. If you can't wait to see it, it's sick. You're kind of a little sick.
I feel bad for both sides that want to see it. The only people that should be there are journalists.
Yeah.
To document.
That's your job. You do that shit. But either family, it's probably bad. Just for normal people to watch people be killed is a bad thing. It's not good for your psyche. Whether it's justified or however you want to put it, but it's just not good for your mental state.
I don't want to watch a dog put down. I don't want to see anything
not at all.
killed.
I don't want to see anything get killed. No. December 31st, 1990, less than 2 weeks away from his execution day, Simmons' body was discovered in his cell at the Tucker Maximum Security Unit as the guards were delivering lunch trays.
What a pussy.
Yep, he was in his bunk, covered with a blanket, didn't answer the guard, so they summoned a supervisor, and they said there was lots of blood, so the medical personnel were called. There were towels in the bed soaked with blood. And they said Simmons died from a self-inflicted laceration to his neck, apparently made with the blade of his disposable razor that had been melted into the handle.
Dang, he jammed it in there.
Yeah, melted it. It's fair. They said this is somebody from the prison said it's fair to say this as much surprised the staff as everyone else. They said Simmons was not prone to cause problems for the staff, other inmates, or himself for that matter. He seemed to do really well in any environment except freedom. That's where he really had a problem, when he could just do whatever he wanted. He left a suicide.
Yeah, except for in the military.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. He left a suicide note maintaining his innocence.
Wow.
In the suicide note. They said, quote, with the exception of John Edward Swindler, who was executed in June of 1990 for killing a Fort Smith patrolman, Thomas Simmons was the most dangerous person I've come in contact with. That's what the prosecutor said. They said the type of disposable razor that a death row inmate apparently used to kill himself is available to all 6,500 state prison inmates, the spokesman said. They said he appeared to have a self-inflicted laceration to the neck area that was inflicted, we believe, from a disposable razor. The blade had been removed and it had been set in the handle. He said, we don't have any reason to believe it was anything else but a suicide.
Ooh, wee.
All inmates are allowed to have one unadulterated disposable razor. And they said, we're talking about a disposable razor, not a straight razor.
Right.
It's still a razor. I mean, it's a razor's a razor. Does that create a danger? Only when an inmate chooses to use it improperly. Yeah, they're inmates. They shouldn't have anything that has a choice to be used improperly. That's the problem. He said
the fact that it has the option to be means they will fucking do it.
Absolutely. And he said pencils and pens are common weapons, so, if they can have that. But look at an elementary school. You'll hand the kids pencils and pens, but will you hand them fucking razor blades?
Never.
Probably not.
Never.
It's the same thing. They said bed sheets could be used as a rope. We issue bed sheets. What's the difference? I mean, I don't know what else you do. The guys have to be able to shave. I mean, you can't not be able to shave.
Start a line and shave people every fucking morning.
Fuck no. I mean, you could do electric razors.
That works.
Then you'd have to provide those, and they're a lot more expensive. Maybe over time they'd be cheaper, though.
Yeah, but in an electric razor, there's a fucking razor inside there, and you could pull that out.
Yeah, true. It's just not a blade.
No, it's a very small chip, but it's the same as that one that they fucking cut people with in wrestling. It's bigger than that razor.
Yeah, they just do a razor blade that's a tiny thing like that and just tape it up. Well, sometimes it's half a razor with tape on it, but it depends on who's doing it.
Sure.
So they said that Simmons has no record of mental health problems, and they said it's fair to say this as much surprised the staff as everyone else. So one said, this is the prison staff police sergeant from the state, it was nothing whatsoever but self-inflicted. He made elaborate preparations to kill himself. Now, why did he kill himself? I don't know, because they were going to execute him in 2 weeks, probably. W.A. Gypsy Henderson knows why he killed himself.
Oh, boy.
Gypsy Henderson knew him in jail before they were both on death row. And he said that he didn't want his family in the spotlight, so he killed himself to save his family. Oh. He said, I talked to him years ago, and he said, if I don't get a new trial and they don't reverse this thing, I'm not going to put my family through that. Gypsy said, you know why he took his life? So his family didn't have to go through the media, newspaper, radio, and television and all the hype that would have come about it, probably sometime this year. It was well planned by Tom, Gypsy said. I do not believe the prison guards could have stopped this unless they happened to be right in front of his cell at that particular moment. Mm-hmm. Everybody's burials here, the Prices share a headstone. It's very nice. It's like a heart where they each have one side of the heart there at the Brock Cemetery in Johnson County, Arkansas. Holly Kim Gentry is buried in Rudy, Arkansas at the Morrison Cemetery in Crawford County. And William Ray Tate is buried at the Oak Hill Cemetery in Benton County, Arkansas there as well. So there you go, everybody. That is Arkansas. And holy shit, that place is
Yeah, he wasn't gonna. He was gonna go out on his own terms, no matter what. I think that was from the start, from the get. You know what I mean?
I think that's I honestly, if he knew the damn cops were coming to the sand place, I think he would have blew his brains out in the sand. I don't think he. Yeah. I think he's that kind of guy.
I think he thought he was going to get away with it.
Oh, he definitely thought he was going to get away with it. Then when he deposited the check and he said, "Oh fuck, why'd I do that? I'll go get the check back."
Yeah.
Then he was fucked. Yeah, all he had to do was not steal that check, and it would have been very hard to identify this guy. Although he went to a goddamn bank and said, "My name is Thomas Simmons. Here's my bank account number."
From a dead guy number first.
Wow. So there you go, everybody. If you like the show or anything about the show, get on whatever app you're on. Give us 5 stars. It helps so much. So thank you for doing that. If you're on Netflix, give the old thumbs up. That helps a lot too. Thank you for doing that. You can definitely go to shutupandgivememurder.com. That's where I suggest you go. What's there, you may ask? Well, merchandise, sure, yeah. But tickets to live shows are what we really want to talk about because our live shows are fucking awesome. They are. We're not going to be humble about it. No. They're goddamn good.
They're great.
And we know that because people tell us that go to the shows, and we know it because even other comedians that see it go, Jesus Christ, that was fucking incredible.
And
what
you know what else
doing out there?
We see thousands of people stand and applaud after the goddamn show.
Yeah, because it's funny.
It's great.
We do a really, really funny fucking show that also has a real complicated murder that we do jokes and visual jokes. It's great. So get your tickets right now. Milwaukee, September 18th at the Pabst. State Theater in Minneapolis, September 19th as well. Get those tickets right now. The Pabst ones are running low. So if you want them, get them right now. Minnesota, get them now also. Then October 3rd in Dallas, October 16th and 17th in San Jose and Sacramento, and then November 13th, 14th, Terrytown and Boston. So get your tickets right now. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Go ahead and follow us on social media at Smalltown Murder on Instagram, at Smalltown Pod on Facebook. So you can do that for sure. Get yourself Patreon.
Sure.
My God. What are you doing out there, everybody? Patreon is amazing. Patreon.com/crime in sports, which just like the name of our other show you should be listening to, because we have a big Yahweh Ben Yahweh cult murder thing going on with that. But check that out, patreon.com/crime in sports. Anybody $5 a month or above, and that's never gone up and never will go up. Never. We're like, that's like the Arizona iced tea of podcasting. It will be $5 no matter how much we add.
We can't charge more.
Cans right there. You know how many of these cans we had made? Trillions. There we got cans to like 2055. We got to use them. So we're stuck with them. That's it. It'll cost more to redo the cans. So get in there and do that. Patreon.com/crime and sports. $5 a month or above gets you everything we put out. As soon as you subscribe, you get hundreds of back bonus episodes, like 400 of them that you've never heard before. Then after that, you get one crime and sports and one small town murder every other week for the foreseeable future. So this week, what you're going to get, it's just going to tell you this. It's prisoner dating game time. It's back again, back by popular demand. Yeah. And this is one almost like when The Sopranos were on HBO. Like we see a lot of people subscribe for this particular episode of they need to hear these again because they're so goddamn funny. Prisoner dating game. I'm going to line up 4 bachelors and 4 bachelorettes for Jimmy here. And they only have one thing in common. They've all been convicted of violent felonies. And Jimmy's going to pick one of each based solely on how they describe themselves. And then he's going to try to read between the lines. And then we're going to find out afterwards what they have done and how horrible of a person Jimmy has picked to spend time with. It's going to be great. Can't wait. Patreon.com/crime in sports. And you also get everything we put out ad goddamn free, baby. Ad-free. And on top of that, you also get a shout-out, which is right goddamn now. Jimmy, hit me with the names of the people who would never do any of the shit that happened in this episode because it was just disgusting. Hit me with them right fucking now.
This week's executive producer, Gary Howard in Allentown, PA. Good for you.
Hey, he's living here in Allentown, singing fucking Billy Joel songs. Yeah. Good for you, Gary.
Claude Cavallo, happy hours in Galveston, Texas.
Oh.
Don't get washed away. Aaron Webb, Kelly Becker, Shay Hausman, Christy Malcolm, Chris Bowers, Vanessa Braley. Thank you all so much for doing what you're doing. Also, real quickly.
Thank you. Fucking love you guys.
These shout-outs, you guys, we try to do them. We started this to try to give you guys credit for what you're doing because we really feel Like, you are the backbone of this, and you deserve the credit. So we just want to mention your name at least once.
Yeah,
and so,
we just want to shout you out.
People, there may be a little confusion. I can only do this on the initial sign-up. If you hear anybody repeat it, it's because they donate every week, and I don't fucking know why they do it, but boy, am I grateful for those people.
Thank you for doing it. Yeah.
So I can only do it on the first one, because otherwise this would take longer than the show. It's thousands of people. It's crazy.
We'd have to put out a separate show, a separate 2.5-hour show every week.
Names. Of just us stumbling through the fucking different ethnicities of this country.
Hey, that'd be easy for me, though. That would be good. We should do that one. We could replace a regular show with that.
Is that what you guys want? Is that what you want?
I hope not.
Other producers this week. So the point is, giving you credit. You deserve it. And we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
We love you for it. Thank you.
But I'm not going more than once. Fucking goddamn it. It's so much.
It's impossible. We would if we could, but we can't.
Other producers this week: Peyton Meadows, Liz Vasquez, Janice Hill, Bill McClellan, Casey Tompton, Megan and Mabel Fred, Scarlett Horbeast III. Thank you all so much. Dustin Kelly, Elise, no last name, Elise, I think. Sam Hodges, Tracy Fontaine, Sarah Sanders, Kendra with no last name, Katrina Bell, Danny Errett, Todd Wallenbeck, Heather Morche, Craig Garland, Courtney Griggs, April K., Joe Whitaker, McKenna Matthey, Megan Block, Kimberly Watto, Jill White, Ryan Delgado, Brandon Wilson, Lauren Murphy, Dina Hoffman, Joe with no last name, Benjamin Gears, Brooke Page, Amy Linebarger, all right, Chance with no last name, Natalie Fia, Florianchich. So that's your getting. Bridget Reveres. All right. Allison with no last name. Pam with no last name. SP, no last name. Justin Yetzers. Megan Davis. Adam Hess. Janine. My God. Mallory. Megan Follette. Denny with no last name. Denai. Lewis with no last name. Misty with no last name. Gavin Beery. Joseph Florkley. Life is better with dogs. I couldn't agree more. Denise Bebiano. Ronnie with no last name. Tanika Beaver. Hell yeah.
Oh.
Megan Termeze.
Hey.
How do you say her name? Termeze, because it's like Torme. Yes,
Mel
like
Torme.
Mel or Marissa. Jessica, but it's Termeze. All right, you get Jessica Perky Perk.
You got that.
Derek Stewart, Leslie with no last name, Katie Bourne, Jan Sims, like Phil, Abigail Bitar, Julia Davis, Trina Child Shaw, Amber Spencer, and then Laura Spencer, or is that Cora Spencer? I don't know what I did. I may have mistyped Laura. Britt with no last name, Kay Bui, Lindsay Trent, Shay Housemont. I said that. Johnny Rhodes, Loregon, Chistel. Nope, that's Crystal. Crystal Gilbo.
Chistel.
Is it Chistel?
You should go by Chistel now,
I spelled it right.
Crystal. Is there an R in there?
I don't know.
I love it. Fucking awesome.
Dave Dorn, James Bugger, Chris Tuning, Shannon Leary, Brittany Green, Mama 5150, Todd
Mama
Fischel.
5150.
She's crazy, James. Crazy mom.
Crazy. It's
Karen
crazy
with no
mama.
last name. Robert Smith, Holly DeCrescenzo.
Oh.
Crescenzo. All right.
Italian.
Lee's Hammer. Liz Shamar. God damn it. Cora Lee with no last name. Beth with no last name. Robert Burke. Cecily with no last name. Killer State of Mind. Tina Tiago. Jeff Gomez. Tuck. 1195. Jessica Mijelich.
Mijelich.
It sounds like something Borat would say.
Yeah, it's a
Mijelich. Rhiannon Henry. Abby Danko. Smooth C. No try, just hard. I don't know. What does that mean?
I have no
What
idea.
you're trying to get out of me.
Something Yoda.
Yeah.
Yoda
No
was
try,
talking to
just
porn
hard.
stars.
Jamie
No
Mears.
try. Penis just hard. Sorry.
Say it was some nondescript accent. Brendan with no last name. Chuck Lankford. Ike Bryant Lisco with no last name. Tara Quozo. Jennifer Lee. Melissa with no last name. Mandy, or maybe Leah. Mandy Latier. Vegan Me. Rebecca with no last name. Melissa Mialjanek. Jeremiah Gray, Nabsar. It's not Knob, right? Nobody's name is Knob. Connie Ryan, Christopher with no last name. Jeff Millett, Katie Keller, Mike Doherty, Sarah Suman, Ryan Didi, Andy Kiki, Susan with no last name. Miranda Coolho, Luminator, Charles Williamson. What is it?
I said, there you go.
That's probably
Luminator.
right.
Yeah,
CW, Laura Bishop, Cody with no last name, Ryan Hannink, Pierrette, that's girl Pierre, Ida Yaga, Pierrette. Is there a Pierrette?
It's a little, it's Pierre's daughter, Pierrette.
Is there a gal named Pierre? Yolanda Foltz, Kimberly Howie, Carla with no last name, Money or Mooney, Christian Muir, Leslie Cullen. She has two, and she did that on purpose. Two paid. Thank you, Leslie.
Well,
Vanessa
Leslie.
Bwendell, Chris Odell, Crystal Osborne, Lazio. Nope, that's Laszlo. Marks, Sloan Skillman, Deborah Logan, Ben Mills, Dana Kilcoyne. That's probably not right. Kelsey Terrell, Meg with no last name, Carrie with no last name, Leland Helms. Leland is such a cool old man name. I had a crossing guard named Leland. He was the best. He got hit by a car and died.
Oh.
Holding the little sign out there.
That's a heartwarming story.
Yeah,
Jimmy.
a sweet old man just got blasted by a Honda Accord.
Perfect. That's how I want to go.
Christy DiCillo, Brian Hansel, Deborah Glazer, Justin with no last name, Lynn, Steve and Dina Morin, Jennifer Strosner, Heidi Anderson, Sam with no last name, Ashley Smith, Christina with no last name, Amber Robinette, Alexandra Mitrofan, Micah Reynolds, Katie Gabagould. Michelle Miller. Oh, we can probably know her. Michelle's terrific. Martha. Araceli. Martha. Joan Rowland. Ryan Young. Tracy Craig. Carls Barkley. All right. Patriot Babe. Better be the Patriots. New England variety. Brandon Brooks, Fern Dragon, Christine Bridges, Rick Silvera, Mackenzie Green, Angela Jones, Sarah with no last name, Beth Ward, Pete with no last name, Heather Zerpel perhaps, Brett Whitaker, Amber Hodorsky, Michael Ducey, Heather Montalvo, Garlic Thought. All right. Drew Miller, Amy Gaitan, and all of our patrons. You're the best.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for all that you do for us. We really goddamn appreciate every last little bit of everything that you do for us. So thank you for hanging out, telling your friends, posting on social media, and just for listening alone in a room staring at the wall. Thank you for that. Thank you for everything. But definitely, if you want to find us on social media, shutupandgivememurder.com has menus that'll take you everywhere you need to go. So come out and see us. Come to a live show. Keep coming back each and every week, no matter what, though. And also, until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.